demo please. Hello, hello. Welcome in. Hi, everyone. It's me, Raven. Oh, mic moving around. Hi, everybody. How's it going? How is everyone doing? Hello. Oh, my goodness. Those are really cute. You already know I thought they were, but those are really cute, Ryan Andrew. I like them lots. Well, hello everybody. I hope it's a good evening or whatever time zone happens to be your time zone. Happy time zone. Oh yes, that good move. Hi Rose. It's good to get settled in. Good to see people here. We're gonna be reading more from Dance Me Outside, and I'm excited to get back into that one. It's it's a fun little book. I like it. So W.P. Kinsella, he's our author of these books. There's a few more, just collections of short stories. And I have my little trigger warning up. I will say again that, he's writing about tough stuff and some fun stuff, but it's possible that some darker themes pop up or themes that maybe aren't typically very fun. It's deep. It's deep things. So, yeah, there's your little warning now. But usually it's a good time. I'm excited to get going. I know from just the first little bit, this is going to be, oh boy, yeah, this is going to be referencing some of the stuff. So brace yourself for a tough first story. The first story is called Caraway. So, learn to type, Raven. We still are operating on a bread for a brain. If you were here for the last stream, you know I had a bread brain. But hopefully I pulled myself together. Goodness. Okay. Here we go. And remember, submit the redeems and I'll get to them between stories. These are not very long. We'll get to lots of redeems. Okay. Caraway. It starts with like a little excerpt, I guess. I think it says Tales of the Great Spirit. It's an excerpt from, it looks like. ... In some of the northern tribes, the caraway plant was believed to hold supernatural powers. ... The placing of the white bloom of the plant on the eyes of a dying or recently deceased person was believed to condemn the spirit to eternal fire. ... But get your act together. I appreciate the pun. Thank you, Ryan Andrew. And that was our quote from Tales of the Great Spirit. Now we get into the central thing. Oh, okay, yes. Trigger warnings. Insert here. I was about 12 the fall that Ruth Buffalo killed herself. One shot from the .22 gun her father, Joe Buffalo, keep in the back bedroom of their house was all it took. Ruth, I guess, was most smart Indian girl ever come from around our place. She was the only Indian kid around who didn't live on the reservation. They say there was a big stink by the white people when she went to their school instead of to the Indian Affairs school on the reserve. She got better marks than white kids, and the government ended up paying her way clear through university because she's so smart. She has studied to be a teacher, and the kids who had her, she come back and teach us Indians at the reserve school, even though she could have gone about anywhere she wanted. Say she is best teacher they ever had. That was to say, the kids at the reserve she taught for a little bit. She even speak our language, and the kids in her class don't hate school much as everybody else does. But she killed herself anyway. What I hear from Joe Buffalo a lot later is she stayed late to school one night and something has happened to her on the way home. She has run into her house and scream and cry to her papa that she'd been had by a farmer live across the field a ways, Mr. Russell Bevins. Old Joe try talk to her, but she's gone crazy in her mind. I'd be dirty forever, Papa, she say to him, forever and ever. And then she run to the bedroom and shoot herself. Old Joe Buffalo. He no ordinary Indian. He not a reserve Indian. He has his own farm across the highway from the reservation. Old Joe, he old enough to be around when reservations is made up, and even way back then he have so much pride he say he not take nothin' he don't earn with his own hands. Oh, I forgot to do this. Here we go. He bought the land so long ago, nobody remembers how he got the money. I a funny old bugger, he used to say to me. That's what people in town say. They figure 'cause I old I don't hear, and they figure at the bank that 'cause I can't write my name, I can't count. Them girls try lots of times give me less than I should have. People at the bank trying to not give him his money, freaking out. Joe too old to farm no more, but he rent his land and get paid for it. Nobody like old Joe much. Reserve Indians don't like that he don't be like them, do nothin', and the white people sure not like it that he thinks he can be same as them. That's what the white people think. ... Old Joe, last thing he ever wants to do is be white. Everybody wonder about him some, and like most kids I wonder too. When I about 10, me and my friend Frank Fencepost go sneaking around his place. We crawl down from the highway on our bellies and make pretend we are tracking buffalo, and that make it a big joke to us. We crawl right up to back of house, and boy, we is some proud of ourselves when all of a sudden I feel something cold on the back of my neck, and there be old Joe Buffalo with his shotgun. I don't know how he got there. ... I never hear nothin'. Frank, he see what happened to me, and he break and run. Old Joe turn and fire the shotgun at Frank, but I see he shoot way up in the trees, make sure he don't hit him. Frank, he yell like he been hit anyway, and run until we hear him hit old Joe's barbed wire fence really hard. Ooh, ow. What you do, sneak around like a thief, he say? We don't mean nothin', we play at track buffalo. Old Joe smile a little on me. You just been caught by oldest buffalo in this part of country, he say. And I look at him and see his face is all brown and wrinkled up like Ethan First Rider's hand-tooled chaps. Who are you, he asks. Silas Ermineskin, I say. For some reason I don't know. I'm not scared of him at all. You never do nothing but scare away game wearing white man's shoes, and he look at my running shoes with my toes hanging out. Soft as moss, he say, and point at his own moccasins. If you drink tea, Silas Ermineskin, you can come in my cabin. He got an old red and black mackinaw that he wear every day for years. His face all wrinkled up, but his eyes clear and shiny like a little kid's. Oh, and if you didn't know what a mackinaw is, it's just the plaid shirt. It's the red and black plaid shirts. His pipe poke out of his mackinaw pocket, and that what his house smell like, his pipe. He don't smoke tobacco, but bunch of leaves and roots he collect himself. All the furniture in the house old Joe make himself is what he tells me. You like to learn track game like real Indian, he asked me. Sure I would, I say, and do ceremony dances and make mean face with war paint. Could you learn me that too? If you want, I teach you. He pour us out tea that he cook in a tin pan on the wood stove. He tell me some stories when he was a boy, and there are hardly any white men in our country, and it not even called Alberta then.
and he tell me about his daughter and how proud he is of her, going to graduate the university that year. Old Joe tell me he was 70 when Ruth born and already work on his third wife, who was only 20 or so. A little bit ick there, but rainy. When Ruth is about 2, her and her mama take the measles, and the mama is die. I count in my head and figure that he most 95 years old. Wow. I hear your family coming to look for you, he says then. I forgot all about Frank and how I been there all day already. I don't hear nothing, I say. Be quiet. Be still as post and stretch your ears out. I don't hear nothing, even when I stretch my ears, but in a few minutes my pa, Sam standing at the door, Frank and some other kids is come through the trees. Pa is carrying his rifle. They is happy to see me okay, but my pa tells me, Silas, don't you never go back there. He's crazy old man, thinks he too good for us Indians. So of course I go back every time I got a chance. Old Joe, he don't read or write, but he is look around him and understand lots. He say us Indians got to go forward or backward. Our people is gonna die, he say, if we sit still like we do now on the reserves. Look at our women, he used to say. They don't like be called, and this is the slur, he's saying it right here. They don't like be called squaw no more. They drink beer, ride around in white man's cars. Our women, the most proud and feared anywhere around at one time. It hurt my heart to see them now. And the men sit around all day, curse the white man with one hand, take his money with the other. I think of Chief Tom Caraway, who is most of the time wear a suit and go to meetings in Edmonton and Calgary, yet nothing ever changed for us. Old Joe and me get to be great friends. I spend a lot of time there, and he tell me the stories his mama used to tell him about how the Great Spirit make the land and the people and all that. I get signed up by the missionaries long time ago, he say, like he don't feel quite right about that. I do it for my old squaw. Again, we shouldn't be, but this is it, what they are writing. She is want to believe in white man's God, so I say okay. The church people say we got to believe only their way and forget ours. So I never be what they call a religious man. Ruth, she good Catholic. Go to church 3 times on Sunday. I'd rather lay out muskrat traps. We is all, most of us Indians, Catholic. A long time ago the missionaries came around, get everybody join up the church, though most people don't understand what it is all about. Somebody asks us what religion we are, we say, Catholic, ... I guess. The church did lots of things. Anyway, even when Ruth come home to teach, I hardly ever see her. She is always stay late to the school or work sometimes for the church. Then come the time Ruth is kill herself. Poor old Joe. It sure hurts him to be Indian then. He walked to the store at Hobama Crossing and called the RCMP, but they take 4 to 5 hours before they come. Old Joe tell them what happened, but they don't hardly listen to him, he says. I tell them Russell Bevins done it, but they just make faces to each other like I don't know anything, he tells me. Russell Bevins, he looked like a giant to me then. I guess he was 6 foot or so, with big wide shoulders and a head like a basketball with thin red hair on top. His eyes was pale blue and close together like a pig. His hands make 5 or 6 of mine, like baseball gloves, with big black fingernails. He chews snuff. Snooze, in quotes there, he call it. And it was what you smell about him when he come close to you. Everybody know he been after Indian girls lots of times before. Some he get, some he don't. Some older girls go with him for maybe $5 after they been to town drinking. The RCMP guys talk to Russell Bevins. He say he don't know nothing about Ruth, and his wife, a scared little white lady with gray hair, say he been home in the yard all that day, and his son say so too. He is about 14, fat, liked to beat up Indians and got the same pig face as his pa. Nobody ever thought to have a doctor look at Ruth. She's just an Indian. In town I hear ladies talk in the co-op store. That Ruth was kind of an uppity one, they say. And kind of strange like her father. She was probably up to no good of some kind. Had something to hide. I bet, said another one, that if they checked her out, they'd find she was pregnant. Indian girls are all like that. And imagine her accusing Russell. Why, he'd give you the shirt off his back, and he hasn't missed church in 10 years. The worst for old Joe is when the priests from the church say that Ruth can't be buried in the church graveyard because she killed herself. Old Joe swear that everything he say is true. He swear it to the RCMP, the priests, and to me, but I the only one who believe him. It not matter to me, he say, but she care plenty about it. Her spirit not rest until she be buried there. But it don't matter what he say, the church don't change its mind. Joe has built a coffin for Ruth himself. I never feel more sorry for anyone than him that day. He is just an old man who don't hardly speak the white man language and don't understand why nobody do nothing for his daughter. He hired 2 Indians, Rufus Fire in the Draw and Charlie Blanket, to tear down a granary that he don't use no more, and pile the boards up against his corral fence. Then he have them put the coffin on top of the boards, and he has set fire to all of it. He had went to the church and asked the priests come down, and 2 of them do. The sun is going down, and a storm is blow big clouds across the sky. The fire roars like a wind as it burn up against the dark. Old Joe Buffalo is kneeled down on the corral, raise his arms to the sky, and cry the death song of our people like it been taught to him most 100 years ago. Charlie and Rufus don't know what to do as they stand by the back of the corral, and they finally just sneak away. The priests twist the beads around their necks, and the fire flash on their silver crosses and long black robes. After a while they go away, making lots of sign of the cross. The fire burned down, and all I can hear is the voice of old Joe Buffalo crying out his sorrow in the fall night. "I glad you stay, Silas," he say to me when he finally stop. "I'm going to do something tonight, and I don't like to be alone at it." He bring from the house a Rogers golden syrup can, and we go back to the fire. There just a few ashes glow a bit like eyes in the dark. Old Joe fill the can up with ashes. If the coals hurt his hands, he don't never show it. And then we walk the long miles up the highway to the Catholic Church cemetery, and old Joe is bury that can of ashes there in the graveyard. Then we go back, and he makes tea for us. He don't ask me to, but I sleep at his house that night. All that winter, I spend a lot of time at old Joe's. He learns me how to make war paint and how to set snares, and he tell me the legends of our people that almost been forgot by everybody. Violets, violets. Violets is soft like women's faces, he say, but violets on a grave, and you make the spirit happy. Put violets on the grave, and you make the spirits happy. And he tell me about Caraway. I even find that one in a book one time, and I print it out at the start of my story, so everybody is know old Joe is tell me the truth. So there you go, that's why we had the quote at the start, to prove it was the truth. In the spring, we spend a lot of time track Russell Bevins. Okay, here we go. You get to know where he go every day and what he do. When Bevins is work in his fields, old Joe and sometimes me too is never far away, but Russell Bevins, he never know that. I wonder what it is old Joe going to do. In the middle of the summer, I come down to old Joe's place early one morning, sneak up real quiet like he's taught me to do. Joe is even make for me my own moccasins, and peek through the window. There is old Joe at the table, naked from the waist up, look in his little square mirror propped on the table and put war paint on his skinny old chest. Then on his face with red, yellow, and blue color is make himself fierce and scary. Then he put on his mackinaw and go off across the fields to where his land join up with Russell Bevan's land. Russell have a private road run along there, and he been hauling hay along there with a hay rack and his tractor in the last couple of days. I follow way behind so he don't know that I there. Old Joe gets down in the ditch in the water and wait for the tractor to come along. When I get to maybe 50 feet from where he is, Old Joe take off his mackinaw and rise up out of the ditch like a spirit himself. Russell Bevins have to either hit Old Joe or turn the wheel. What Old Joe count on, I guess, is that Russell just be scared and turn the tractor, 'cause I bet he sure like to run over an Indian. He turns the wheel and the tractor tip right over. He make a half try to jump clear, but he is too big for that. The tractor is on top of him in the slough water before he know it. He yells some and try to get loose, but he is pinned by his chest, hurt a lot and can hardly keep his head above the green water. "Go get help, you crazy old bastard," he yells at Joe. But Joe is stand, look down at him, and maybe smile a little. I crawl silent until I ride across the road. I lay in the water with the bulrushes and peek across. "You tell me the truth about my girl," Old Joe says after a while. "I don't know nothing," says Russell Bevins, the green water right up to his mouth. "Help me." "First you tell the truth. I don't go for help until." Russell Bevins, he swear and yell. Then he beg Old Joe some to help him. Russell have lots of pain, and after a while he make a funny noise and pass out. His head goes under water, but Old Joe wade right in and lift up his head so he don't drown. Then from the pocket of his jeans he take out some caraway flowers and place one on each of Russell Bevins's eyes. He cradle his head like a baby until he wake up. 2 or 3 times this happened until Russell Bevins is finally tell Old Joe, "Yes, I hurt your daughter. I sorry I done it. If you get me help, I'll even tell the RCMP that I done it." Old Joe Buffalo is smiled just a touch, and the next time Russell Bevins is pass out, Joe don't grab his head. He scatters the last of the caraway flowers on the water above his face, and I hear the bubbles come up through the water around them. Joe gets his mackinaw and walk real slow away. "You can walk with me, Silas," he say to me. "How you know I there?" I say. "I walk real quiet." "You walk like 2 moose chased by a wolf. I hear you ever since you crossed the highway." Dark story. Great ending line. Oh, I did say that one looked like it was gonna be tough. Let's get some fun sounds. Oh my gosh. Let's swap it up for the humming. And the lighter story times hopefully come next. Let's be real. We've been teary for a minute. Okay. They're just such compelling stories. They're so heavy sometimes. But okay, we're gonna do humming first, and if we have any other redeems, let's go with those. Never realized my stream froze before it even started. Lol. Sorry, Kicks PC. You had a stream that froze? That sucks. Sorry. That is no fun. Okay. Alright. Humming. Humming for Rose. And And why not do Danny Boy for the girl that wanted to be buried in the Catholic graveyard? Why not?
There you go for your humming. Thank you for the follow, Trey Avon. Is that how you would pronounce it? Treyavan? I don't know. But welcome. Thank you for the follow. And thank you for this. Oh, Fat! Your resubscription. Yay, look at you. Eee. I mean, of course you would subscribe again, but let's give you your money frogs anyway. The money frogs you created. There you go. Was waiting until we were reading stories reduced. Very fair. That is how you pronounce it, no problem. Oh, perfect. Well, thank you for joining, and thank you, Fat. Look at you. Where's everybody else's money frogs? Come on. If you've got money frogs, do them. But let's do some glass jar tappings next. I still can't believe you beat me by 2 days. You had insider info. Yeah, Fat was here first, but you both still have the first. You're still firsts. Time has flown. It has. Oh my goodness. 5 months I've been streaming. That's crazy. Okay. Alright. Focus, Raven. Let's go ahead and do the tippy taps. You might have been. Death Noah was really fast. Death Noah might have been the first. I don't have Money Frog. I know, I'm so sorry, but they have a 7TV version. If you go onto the 7TV, it is there. It should pop up in the chat if you just say Money Frog. So if I type it out, it won't pop up. You'll be able to... Actually, no, you can see it on my chat bubbles. If you type it out like that, it'll show up in the chat on Twitch as the Raining Money Frog emote. There you go. Money Frog, all one word, but Frog is also capitalized with money. Okay, the tippy tap time. I love all glass triggers. Ooh.
mayhaps we will tippy tap on glass bottles. So I'll do that at the end. But okay, here's the glass jar. Okay, use that up. Ooh. And then I'm going to, as an extra, I'm not just shutting down the glass jar early, I'm going to tap on the bottle. Because you said you like any of them. Here we go. There's the bottle. Yeah, the glass jar is actually a candle, so it sounds not empty. And this bottle is empty. But I also have somewhere in between. This one has a little bit of water in it for when I do bottle blowing. It also means that it sounds kind of funny if I move it around. Because there's water. There you go. Happy to show it off, especially if you're like, that's my favorite stuff. I'm like, well, I've got more than just the one. So that you know where to find the other ones next time, you can request the bottle blow or tappies on the bottles. I've also got a couple of other little things that I could probably add to it, but there you go. Alright. Any other redeems? If not, the next story is called Linda Star. Whatsoever that turns out to be. Let me know. I will give you a moment. Okay, well, I'm gonna guess that we're moving on. Linda Star. Our next story. Woo-woo. Okay. There we go. Let me get into serious voice. Oh, serious. I'd only been in Edmonton maybe 3 days, but I seen her every day walk around the street in front of where I staying, the Sask Alta Rooms. I guess Saskatchewan, Alberta kind of put together. Sask Alta Rooms. Anyway, she even brings some of her men in there, I think. That night, I'm just lean on the wall between the rooming house and the pastime pool hall, watching people go by when she has stopped by me and light up a cigarette. You want to go out? She says. No, I live here for a while. I just standing around. I figure that, but it don't do no harm to ask. She is one pretty girl. She is Indian like me, full blood, I guess. She got her hair kind of curled up and a blonde streak right across the front. She is wearing blue jeans real tight a faded jean jacket and a bright pink top under it that show most of the top of her breasts. She has a big leather purse over her shoulder. "Where are you from?" she asked me. "Hobama," I say. "That down past Wetaskiwin on the number 2 highway." "I've been by there. I used to live in Calgary for a while, but I come from Saskatchewan." "I'm Linda Starr." "I'm Silas Ermineskin," I tell her. "If you're not doing anything, why don't you buy me a beer?" Linda say, and she smile at me real nice, but real bold too, like she wants something from me, but she don't know how to ask. "These is sure fancy bars they got in the city. Where we go is called the New Ritz, and it got pictures of the South Seas all over the wall with girls in grass skirts shake themselves. The bar hold a couple of 100 or more people, and they even got a band, Wanda and the Braves, which is Wanda, who is a half-blood girl, and one Indian guy on the drums, and one guy on the steel guitar who is white but have a feather tied around his head." "So what are you doing in the big seat? What you doing in the big again? So what you doing in the big city?" Linda say to me. I tell about how I taking a course on how to be a mechanic and have to come to NAIT, which is Northern Alberta Institute of Technology, NAIT, for a course for 3 weeks. One that they don't have at Wetaskiwin, where I go to school most of the time. "I was never no good at school," she say. "I always run around too much and figure ways to get off that reserve. My father used to beat up me and my sister all the time, and that ain't all he used to do either. 2 years ago I run away with this guy from the oil rigs, but he take off after a while and I start turning tricks." She give me her real bold smile, like she daring me to say she ain't doing the right thing. I keep blurring my words together. Come on. The band plays all the Hank Williams songs we like, and Wanda, she don't sing so good, but she sing loud, and Linda and me dance some. She knows most everybody there, and she keep go away and talk to people at other tables, and especially to a thin-faced guy with reddy blonde hair that fall down over his face, who sit with some black guys and a couple of white girls. Them guys is all dressed real fancy. The one Linda talks to is got on white pants and a black leather coat, and wears a yellow wool scarf with purple fringes on it. I see her hand something to him once. "Clifton over there is kind of my old man," say Linda. "We don't live together or nothing, but he looks out for me if a trick gives me trouble, and he take a real interest in me, you know what I mean. I give him some of my money, and we get it on once in a while." "Pretty girl like you must do a lot of business." At first I'm not sure if I should talk about what she does or not, but she sure don't mind at all. "Never less than $100 a day. It's pretty quiet tonight, but I make lots of money this afternoon. You wait until the weekend, boy, the street really sings. There are chicks going up and down checking all the parked cars. Some of the girls do their tricks in the cars, but me, I like a room. One Saturday I made over $200. "Don't you ever get arrested?" "I only been busted once in 2 years. Got a $50 fine and told I better go back to the reserve. Fat chance." We dance some more when they play slow songs and kiss some on the dance floor. "You ain't married or nothing, are you?" Linda asked me. "No." Not that it make any difference, really. It's just that, I don't know, I don't even like to take a married trick. I do, but if I had an old man, I mean a real one, if I was married or something, I wouldn't want my guy messing around on me. I not married. ... But I promised. "They do that on your reserve too, eh? Guy named Billy Buckskin asked me when I 13. I'd still be sitting in that cabin waiting for him to decide if we should get married or not. I ain't got no time for that." I think about my girlfriend, Sadie One Wound, back on the reserve, and I know she's not mess around while I'm gone. And I don't feel right about what happening, but it don't take Linda long to make me forget about everybody but her. You gonna ask me back to your room, Silas? Sure, but what about ... And I look over at the blonde guy who's looked back at me, and I think wink his eye. I do anything I want anytime I want, okay? I pick up a half-dozen beers at the bar. Sorry, let's try it. I do anything I want anytime I want, okay? I pick up a half-dozen beers at the bar. Linda ain't let me buy even one glass of beer, and I sure don't feel right about that either. Boy, we sure do have one good time in my room. Linda sure is know about everything there is to know about make love. At least she know all I know, and some more too. And she hold on to me like she been alone for a long time, which I don't understand then. She stay all night in my bed, and when I get back from Nate in the afternoon, she still sleep there. When she see me, she stretch and smile and say come hold her, and I do. I don't even go to work this afternoon, she say, and laugh. You have to kick my ass, Silas, or you never get me out of your bed. Oof. That night we sit in the new Ritz beer parlor again, and a couple of times Linda go away for a while and come back, show me $20 bills under the table, and she smile and be real proud of herself, so I smile with her. She talk a lot with her blonde friend, whose name is Clifton Black, and I sure figure they name him wrong, 'cause he white, and we laugh some about that. They is argue some, and Linda's walk away from his table with her back straight and swing her bottom at him. Swing her bottom at him. 20 beers is a lot. Did we say 20? Where is it? I said $20 bills. But, okay. I don't owe him nothing, she says. And don't you be afraid of him either. I had never thought about be afraid of him before. Linda and me spend a lot of time make love after that, and we talk a lot about maybe what going to happen. My name ain't really Linda, you know. I changed it when I come to the city. It was Lena before. Lena Starblanket. It's funny we both got the family names of the reserve we come from. The Starblanket Reserve really small. We hardly got any Indians at all there. Then when we is hold each other real close in the night, she say to me, Silas, I is like for us to get married. ... We could go away someplace where nobody knows us. ... Or we could go back to where you live. ... I don't think I would mind live on a reserve if I with you. ... I go anywhere you want me to, Silas. I'd like to have your babies, and I make you a good wife. I can't say she wouldn't, and more, I think what she say is a good idea. Linda moves into my room. She don't have nothing to bring except another pair of jeans and a yellow sweater. I got everything I own in my purse, she say, and laugh. I can't help wonder where she spend all the money she make, but I don't ask. Only I find out the next night in the new Ritz bar. Linda is away working, and Clifton Black come sit at my table. His body moves slow, but his eyes is sure busy. They see everything goes on in the whole bar. I think it's time we have ourselves a talk, boy, he say to me, though I guess he no more than a year older than me. You and Linda getting it on pretty heavy. I nod, 'cause I don't know what else to do. I sure shaking inside, 'cause by now I know what he carry a long knife in his boot, and some even say he carry a gun too. And he's supposed to be the best fist fighter on the street. He has 3 or 4 girls give their money to him like Linda, and Linda say he sell dope to a lot of people too. I could get real tense about something like this, Clifton say. Cost me a whole lot of bread every day that she's hung up on you, man. I like man better than boy. Yeah, that's a big thing. Guys calling him man instead of boy. Okay. Linda don't take nothin' that not her own, I say. I look after Linda now so she don't need you no more. I think of myself as some brave to say something like that. I don't know what I would do if Linda did really need me help her with trouble. I'm not real strong or mean, mostly not mean, I guess. Clifton just keep on talking like he never heard me. I could probably whip you myself, he say, eyeing me up and down, but what I'll do, if I do, is bring along 2 or 3 friends and make dog food out of you. They'll be sewing you back together at the hospital for a month. I could do that, ... but I ain't. You know why? I shake my head. Because that would make Linda go for you all the more. She'd feel responsible that you got hurt, and it would give her a chance to play nurse. That's what these... Bad word, here we go. That's what these whores see themselves as, Silas. Nurses and teachers and little old housewives. Did you know that? We're kind of playing a game, Silas, you and me. I bet Linda's even talked about going back to the country with you. I know he can tell by the look on my face that he's right. How long do you figure that would last? She said anything to you about owning a chicken farm? Hey, it's what he wrote. Anyway, you didn't say anything about owning a chicken farm? No. That's just a joke in the trade, boy. We're going for it again. You can plug your ears, LaHonk. Whew. All whores are supposed to want to own chicken farms. And he laughed at me. A little short laugh that sounded like firecrackers go off. He got a few pimples on his face, and yellow fingers with a couple of big bright rings that I sure wish I had for my own. Linda came to the city to get away from a bad life, and she's doing it the best way she knows how, and for her it is the best way. It's only natural that she should have some ideas about being somebody's wife and having kids and things like that. All whores get all ideas in their heads like that once in a while, but it never works. You know why? Because they always pick themselves a nice straight guy to latch onto. A guy like you, Silas. You can no more live her life than she can live yours. I've seen it happen lots of times. Yes, sir, we are playing a game, Silas, and old Clifton is a couple of points down right now, but I got all the time in the world, and I get real rough in the late going. I'm real glad we had this little talk, Silas. I just wanted you to know that Clifton, he knows what's happening, and though it might not seem like it now, Clifton knows how to handle his girls. I don't like Clifton. I can't think of nothing to say to him. Hey, waiter, Clifton says, bring my friend here a couple of beers. And he get up and walk away slow and casual so he show everybody in the bar he not worried by no Indian guy. Linda is have a surprise for me the next day when I come home. It is a suit like I seen in the stores downtown. It is jacket and pants blue like jeans but made from fancy cloth and cost maybe $75. There is a yellow shirt too, and it sure make me happy. I should be buying you presents, I say. When you be a welder or whatever it is, then you can buy for me. It make me proud to see you look good. I can say to everybody, that there is my old man, the one who looks so good. I only got a couple of days before my course ends, and I still not real sure what I'm going to do about Linda. I think I love her for sure, but I feel sad when I think of Sadie what wait for me. When I get back to my room, Linda is there, but I sure surprised to see Clifton Black and a couple of young guys. I figure maybe Clifton decides I'm going to be dog food after all. Hey man, he says, we didn't expect you back so soon. My friend here and I, we needed a nice quiet place to discuss some business, and he grins, does his little firecracker laugh, and toss a little plastic package in his hand. And Linda here let us use your room. I guess it okay, I say, and Clifton is grin and wink at me. His eyes is pale blue, like a pail of skim milk. Then they start talk about money and dope and grams and stuff I don't understand much. Those young guys is from the university, and they's making what they call a big buy of coke from Clifton so they can sell to all their friends. They talked price for a while, and they almost made their deal when all of a sudden the door burst open, and 3 guys who look like bums, and who I seen around the streets a few times, charge in waving guns and policeman badges. I knew it as soon as they were using his room. I'm like, police are gonna show up, aren't they? We all under arrest, they say, and they start tear up the room to look for dope. As they come in, I see Clifton hand Linda the little package and say stuff in it. Linda reached down the front of her jeans and put it between her legs. They line us 4 guys against the wall and search our clothes. Then they tear up everything else in the room. They make us one by one take off our clothes, and boy, those guys sure look everywhere. Even so, they don't find nothing. Then they turn to Linda. Look, they say, we followed Black here after he picked up the stuff. We could have nailed him, but we wanted to catch him dealing. Now if you're holding, you better cough it up and tell us who owns it. The university guys is whine a lot about they don't know nothing. Then how come you carrying $1,500? Say one of the detectives. They can't answer and they shut up some after that. Well, the detectives wait for Linda to say something. Tell them whose it is, Linda, I say to her. Hey man, says Clifton, be cool. Remember, this is your room. You could have a lot of weight come down on you too. No sense in going to jail when she can. Just be cool, man. It'll all work out. Look, miss, the biggest detective say to Linda, we know you aren't dealing. All we want is the dope, and we want to know who it belongs to. I don't like that this is gonna go. You have no more sub? Oh, Scooby Bobby. Are you gonna sub? We had Fett already do his sub tonight. We can have another sub. I feel very honored that you're all like renewing subs. It's very nice. Okay. But I'm sure you can clear up both points for us right now, and we'll let you walk out of here. But if we have to take you down to the police station and have a matron search you, and we find the dope then, we're going to have to lay a charge against you. Possession for trafficking is worth about 5 years. I have to think about it, says Linda. Clifton smiles at me, showing a lot of crooked yellow teeth. Guess we all better go down to the station then, say the detectives. Me and the university guys go in one car, and Clifton and Linda each go in a separate one. Clifton, he wink at Linda and blow her a kiss. We all in one big room at the police station. There is just a long table and chairs like you see in a school auditorium. There is a policeman lady stand beside Linda. We'll give you one last chance, says the big detective, but Linda don't say nothing, so he nods to the lady policeman. She starts to take Linda out, but just then Clifton is speak up. Hey man, I can't let you bust my chick, he says. I'll take my own weight, the stuff's mine. Then to Linda, give him the stuff, baby. And so she does. After a while, they let us all go except Clifton, but before I leave, Clifton, he called me over to him. That was a really fine thing I did there, wasn't it, Silas? He is grinning at me with everything but his eyes. You only done what you should have. Linda don't do nothing wrong. It was your dope. There wasn't any dope, man. No? There was nothing but bluff in that package. I was gonna burn them college kids. They wouldn't know dope if they were swimming in it. And what are they gonna do when they find out they've been burned? Go to the cops and say, hey, Mr. Policeman, that bad dude Clifton Black burned me on a coke buy. I could have cleared the air right away, but I seen the chance to show you who Linda really belongs to. And I think you're smart enough to see it too. This guy. No, sir. Linda came through for me just like I knew she would. My girls never let me down when it counts. She was standing there with what she thinks is a 5-year bust for having my coke up her twat, but she don't turn old Clifton in. When I train my girls, I train them to stay. I hope you noticed that, boy. I noticed, I say. He's gonna keep saying bad stuff about the girls, so brace yourselves again. Don't feel bad. Whores are whores, Silas. I don't know what makes them that way. I just live and let live and take what comes my way. I know how to handle them, and it ain't something you learn, it's something you're born with. Don't feel bad, he say again. Old Clifton, he don't lose many. I'll surprise them all and be back on the street tomorrow. I just have to wait until they send the stuff out to be analyzed. Nothing but bluff, man, nothing but bluff. Be cool, and I'll see you around, he says, and offers to shake hands. Only he got to shake hands that funny way that his black friends must have taught him, like we going to arm wrestle. We're walking back from the police station to the Sask Alta rooms. I think I'm gonna find myself another place to stay, I say. Silas, I thought everything is okay now. Neither of us is in any trouble. Guess you mad 'cause I let them guys in the room. I'm sorry, Silas. I don't do that again. I guess that's all what Linda says. It's a lot more than that, Linda. Silas, stay and be my old man. You don't have to work or nothing. You can keep on going to school or whatever you want. We can get an apartment or even rent a house. I make lots of money. And Silas, we can buy a car. I'll buy you a car. And we can love lots. God, I love it. I love it so when you hold me, and you get off on me too. I know you do. Clifton, he won't bother us none. He'd be in jail for a while, but even when he gets back, he won't. He could have let me go to jail today, but he didn't, Silas. What I try to tell you is, I love you and I don't want to be alone. You don't even know what you done back there, do you? I didn't do anything. Yes, you did. Oh, you had to make a choice between me and Clifton, and you chose him. How? You know that dope was his, but still you let yourself go to jail for him. But I didn't. It all worked out okay. Not for me. But I do love you, Silas. What I want to tell her then is, yes, you love me, but not enough to put me first. But I don't. Ooh, he's really looking after himself there. Oh my goodness, I saw it in the corner of my eye, but I haven't looked. I see Frains, I see bad loves, I see bad roll, amazing Riz, great Riz. And thank you for the subscription. Now we gotta drop all these money frogs. Let's drop the money frogs. Hey! Thank you, Scooby Bobby. Also, I like the cat jam. Jam away, little cat. Jam away. Okay. Silas is choosing himself, and good for him. But we still got a bit more story to it. Okay. So he doesn't say all that. He just waits. Yes, you did change it to the... It looks nice, Fat. You did great. It looks good. Okay. I don't mean what I did to hurt you. You don't understand. ... I guess Linda says. Yes, I saw him. That's what I was saying. Look good. I know what you meant. Oh, excuse me. Okay, so Linda says, you don't understand. I understand enough to know you never want to be Lena Starblanket no more. You always gonna be Linda Starr, and you always gonna live right here or on some other street just like this. I think that... So that's what he said, and then he's going into his narration. I think that maybe if I don't have Sadie one wound wait for me at home, I give it a try here, but I just got too much to lose. You could be wrong, Silas. Maybe I could be Lena Starblanket again with the right guy. I take a deep breath. I leave the key with the manager. The room is paid up for 2 more days. Linda is giving me kind of a sad smile. I think I'll stop off at the new Ritz, have a beer, and see what's happening. We stop together in front of the hotel. Silas, she say to me, and she used that kind of smile like the first time I met her. If you ever in town and you feel like ... you know ... you never have to pay me. She is walk up the single step up to the door of the new Ritz beer parlor, give her bottom a real nice wiggle at me. Okay. Then she go in the door and the door closed slow behind her. The end. Ooh. Silas is going through it and growing up. Oh my goodness. Okay. Rage puffing and page ruffling. Here we go. How will we start with a page ruffle? That's what I'm going to start with this time. Ah. What? There you go. I know. Little yawn. Okay. Alright. Posture check. Okay, Scooby Bobby, thank you. Let's rearrange. Do better posture. Okay. Alright. Creaky chair now. 40%. It lies. It lies. Okay, here is our page ruffling. I'm gonna move to Mike. Another yawns. Oh no. We're gonna start with the little book, stiff papers, and then the bigger book, fluffier papers. Here we go. Oh, there we go. Oh, Scooby Bobby, you demand to say you love 105%. This is not true, the 40. Aww. There's that one. 104%. Well, I'm blushing, but you love me less than Cage by 1%. How specific? Okay, big fluffy book now. Alright, there's our books. And now I guess I'll do some rage buffing. Oh, again. Here we go. Oh no! That's for the best, because I'm about to do it right now. Here we go. Oh wait, this is a move. You have to move, Mike. Okay. goodness, beatboxing that time. It definitely was cat jam worthy, but it still got me. The cat jam. Ah, you got me. Oh no, another yawn. Oh, okay. Hi, Dark. We had other Dark Storm earlier. Look at the two of yous. Hello, welcome. Do we have any other redeems, or shall I continue with stories? 'Cause we're done with the rage puff. I will tell you that. We're done. We're swapping. Are we going to story? The next one is The Kid in the Stove. I'm not sure what that's gonna mean. Eepy much? Yeah, I will say I'm a little bit eepy, but the biggest deal is that I've just been yawning a lot. It's a maybe more oxygen thing. Mayhaps. But okay, it was Darkstorm down in the earlier stream today, who had not been visiting for a while, so it was like, oh my goodness, look who's here. The Kid in the Stove. The Kid in the Stove. That is our story. So I'll prep that one up, unless somebody tell me they had something else. Beatboxing, puffing. It was. You're right, El Chiquitas. It was. Okay. Raven rap. Ugh. Raven bad attempt at rap. Okay. The Kid in the Stove. Should we be concerned that there is a kid in the stove? Okay. I think this one will be silly. I think it will be silly. We'll see. Here we go. Readjusting. And how am I? Like I said, I'm a little bit the EP, I think. Oh no, here we go. Otherwise, it's been pretty good. The Kid in the Stove. Very This Is Fine moment. Very much. You're right. How are you, Darkstorm? How are you doing? I'm gonna get started. Okay. Tell us a story, Silas, the kids say to me a lot of evenings. I tell them lots of stories about our legends, of how the Great Spirit made the land and us, and even a few that I made up myself. But no matter how many I tell, just about when it be time for bed, they say, tell us about the Kid in the Stove. For that one, they all gather around close to me. Minnie and Thomas, Dolores and Hiram, my little brothers and sisters, and there's Joseph too, my big brother. He is 22 already, but when he just a baby, he catch the scarlet fever and his mind never grow up like his body do. Joseph, he talk like the wind-up record player when it not cranked up good enough. Ooh, get a cookie. I like it. Raven is Eminem. The theory was true. I am not Eminem. What? Where did that come from? You're doing good. That's good. I'm glad. Okay. But, we had Joseph. He talked like the wind-up record player when it not cranked up good enough. I, B, the, kid, that, hid, in, the, stove, And he grin and shake, happy a little, like a dog that know he gonna be petted. So I tell them the story. Ma, she used to tell it to me and Ileana and Joseph when we was little, and she say her mother used to tell it to her. It kind of our own private scary story about how Lazarus Bobtail and all but one of his kids was murdered by a white man named Donald Henry Deitzman. It says, because the name got kind of cut off in the text, Deitzman, I guess. It happened a long time ago when there was hardly any town at Wetaskiwin, and the reserve here at Hobama was new. Mrs. Bobtail was away someplace, is how come she didn't die too. Afterward, they say she married with a blood Indian from down south, moved away, and nobody ever heard of her or the kid in the stove no more. I don't know why kids like scary stories, but they sure do. Looking at all of you, are you children? Please don't be children, it's 18 plus. Okay. I make everybody be quiet and turn the lamp down low, and then I tell them about this crazy white man come creep around the bobtail cabin, peek in the window, and try the door real careful. You guys think you hear anything, I say? And they always do. They move in closer to me, and Dolores, the littlest one, hold on to Joseph's neck real tight. Then I finish the story about how that Deitzman guy is shoot Lazarus Bobtail and 4 of his kids, but how the 5th kid crawl right up inside the big old cook stove in the cabin, and he get to live to tell about it. Once some of us went up to the spot where them children died, and it make us feel all creepy. It ain't on the reserve no more. The government, it take away land whenever it feel like it, and our reserve gets smaller as it get older. The place was lonely even in the daytime. All we could find was a few logs people say was part of Lazarus Bobtail's cabin. Just being there at the place where it really happened make us think a lot about the story. I remember how when I first hear it, I figure that if something like that ever happened at our place, I'd have been the smart kid that hid in the stove and got to live. And I bet everybody who hear it think the same way. For such a sad story, it almost make a happy ending when you hear at the end that one child got away. Most anybody in these parts, Indian or white, can tell you about that escape. They're real certain about it, as certain as they are that we live on the Ermineskin Reserve and that the town down at the highway is called Hobama. Yet it never happened at all. I like to know about Indian history in Alberta, and I've read the couple of books in the Wetaskiwin Library that are about Indians maybe 3-4 times. I get to thinking about how I would like to know the history book story of the Bobtail Massacre. Mr. Nichols, my English instructor down at the tech school in Wetaskiwin, the guy who has fixed up the spelling in my stories, says maybe I could find out from the RCMP or maybe from the Glenbow Foundation in Calgary, who are people that keep records of Indian history in Alberta. The RCMP guys don't help much. They all young guys, and I think they come maybe from places where they don't have no Indians. They make fun on me when I ask, want to know where my tomahawk, and how come an Indian kid like me want to be bothered worry about something that happened so long ago. They say maybe they get what I want for me if I tell them who's got a still on the reserve and where it's at. A still like the people making the booze. So I go away. Next time I go to Calgary, I leave my girlfriend Sadie one wound look around in the Goodwill store while I take the bus out to the Glenbow place. I meet with a real nice man called Mr. Hugh Dempsey. He is white, but he got Indian wife, and he have a picture of her right up on his desk to show he not ashamed to have her. He talks soft on me and make me feel calm, 'cause I sure not used to big fancy buildings and people run around all dressed up all the time. Mr. Dempsey is look in his books and things, and he give me a paper to read, and I copy some of it down. On the night of July 14, this is what he copied down, by the way. On the night of July 14, 1907, my brain, the letter, itinerant railroad worker named Donald Henry Dutchman had a dispute in the town of Wetaskiwin with some Indians from the Ermineskin Reserve, which is located at Hobama, some 11 miles distant. The nature of the dispute is not clear, but late that night, Dutchman apparently walked from Wetaskiwin to the reserve, stopped at the first Indian residence that he came to, that of Lazarus Bobtail, entered, and shot to death Bobtail and his 4 children. The bodies were discovered the next day by Bobtail's wife, White Sky. Dutchman was arrested the same day by the Mounties, which is another term for RCMP, but was judged insane, and the case never came to trial. That's the end of the little excerpt. Mr. Dempsey, he find me another book with a little chapter about Dutchman, but the story is the same. Not near as scary written down in history as when told at night in a cabin with a coal oil lamp makes shadow all over. I feel kind of sad that there ain't nothing nowhere about the kid that got away. When I ask Mr. Dempsey about it, he say that maybe part of the story is taken from some other story that happened here or maybe someplace else. He say that lots of times people get things mixed up like that when a story has been told for a lot of years, like that one has. Yes, oral histories will get mixed in together with other ones and change and whatever. Mr. Dempsey, he point out another little paragraph in the book and say that maybe it explain a whole lot. That paragraph is say that a month or so after the murders, before Mrs. Bobtail move away, she is have a baby. Just a baby. The book don't say if it was a boy or a girl. I think about that real hard, and when I hear Mr. Dempsey explain it, I have to agree with him. I know when I was little and hear the story, when they get to the part where everybody been shot, I always ask, and did all the children die? And I know the kids I tell the story to do the same. What Mr. Dempsey suggests is that way back, somebody in the way big people like to make fun on kids and make a joke for themselves at the same time say, they all died but the one in the oven. Oh my gosh, everybody growed up knows that that's a way for saying a lady is going to have a baby. Saying that would make the kids feel better about a sad story, and the big people could laugh and wink their eyes at each other. It seemed to me that that is likely the way it happened, and little by little the story got changed over the years until everybody has believed there really was a kid in the stove. This is such a great story to show how oral histories change. This is so cool. I love this. I'm going to have to recommend this to other people, this specific story. Quickly, Star, the kid in the stove. It's so great. Okay. Boy, I can hardly wait to get back and tell everybody what I found out. All these years, everybody has have the story all wrong, but boy, I sure gonna fix that up in a hurry. I guess we going to have to get us a new scary story to tell, 'cause it is the kid in the stove part that make the Bobtail massacre not just another murder story. I feel kind of tingly all over, and I'm almost as excited as the time I knew I was going to Edmonton to buy a new pair of cowboy boots. Yet when I meet with Sadie, I tell her, don't bother me about what I found out at Glenbow. On the bus on the way home, I start to think about how much I liked that story, and how the kids I tell it to sure get a bang out of it. Sadie want to talk to me, but I tell her I got something to think about. She say maybe she wishes she was going to marry a bronc buster like Ethan Firstrider instead of a guy like me who sneak around all the time, write down what people say. Yeah, go have fun with the cowboy, not the historian, the storyteller. Fair. Okay. Finally, she just run her knee up against mine and look at her country music songbook that she bought in Calgary with a picture of Donna Fargo on the cover. That story, like we've been telling it, is not really the truth, but it sure make a lot of kids happy for a lot of years, and I wonder who it gonna make feel good besides me. And if I tell what I found out, it seemed to me that it kind of like... Well, the reasons you don't shoot songbirds is that they don't do nobody harm. I look sideways at Sadie, and she look at me, and when she put her head on my shoulder, I reached down and put my hand on the leg of her jeans. You finished thinking, Silas? She asks. Yeah, I say. The end. That's so cute. He chose not to ruin it for the kids. I want him to go tell his mom, though, you know? Be like, Mom, we got it wrong. Don't tell anybody else, but we got it wrong. Can you believe that? Damn. Like, so that it could become like a Santa Claus where once you're an adult you get told, but when you're a kid you don't know. I like it. I like it. That was so cute. Who else liked that one? That one was really cute. But okay, now is our redeems time. And I see now, because I didn't see and I'm a dum-dum, the Dark Storm left. How did I miss that? I sorry, Dark Storm. You're not here. Bye-bye. It was good to see you. Okay. All right. Well, do we have any redeems, or do I run straight into the next story? Because, I think it's a solid size story. I don't know if it's worth running straight into it. We'll have no breaks for a while. It's called Ups and Downs, and I'm still scrolling to the end. We're not there. There it is. Page 99. What page were we on when it started? Page number... Goodness. Page number 86. Okay. So this one's... It's got some length. Wow, if nobody says anything, I'm just gonna go ahead with it. You can't stop me. I'm just gonna read. I'm threatening you with me reading, which is what I do. Anyway, oh my gosh. Ups and downs. I think I'm gonna go. We're gonna read. Take that, all of you that aren't chatty, but it's okay. You don't have to be chatty. Up, no, not ups, ups, and downs. There you go. All right, here we go. Okay. And the winner is ... Silas Ermineskin. Only the man read it. Silas ... Ermineskin? 2 question marks. I bet you could hear the groan that went up from the Canadian Legion Hall, not just across the street. To the Gold Nugget Cafe, but all the way down the block to the Alice Hotel. Oh, thank you for those, LaHonk. I'll do a quick hydrate stretch. Get the water. Ooh, that was my shoulder pop. Okay. Thank you. There you go. All right. So all the way down the block to the Alice Hotel. You can pop a shoulder. You can pop any kind of joint. Whoop, 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 whoop. You can't see me, but I'm rolling all of my arm and stuffs away. Okay. I never intend to be there for the drawing. I just on my way out of town from visit my girlfriend Sadie One Wound at the hospital where she have her appendix out a couple of days before. The Lions Club bingo is almost over, and I hang around the door to see if I can get a ride back to the reserve with somebody. What I win is the Wetaskiwin Lions Club Ladies Auxiliary trip for 2 to fabulous Las Vegas. Nice! Hell yeah! Good for Silas. A month or so ago, me and Sadie was walk around the shopping center and I buy a ticket for 25 cents and promise Sadie I win for sure. Look at you, you did. I wait until most everybody gone home before I go up and show the guy my ticket and my ID from the tech school and collect what I won. I figure that then me and Sadie will go when she get better, but the guy tell me that the tickets is for a charter flight day after tomorrow, and I gotta go then or never. Oh no. He's gonna go with Frank, isn't he? He's gonna go with Frank to Las Vegas, isn't he? Okay. Yeah, he is. He's gonna. I see it. Okay. Boy plus a boy makes half a boy. These two idiots are gonna cause some problems. Ups and downs. Here we go. Okay. If I can't take Sadie, then I figure I take Ma. But when I tell her, she just laugh and say no way she gonna fly on them big iron birds. She really say that. In our language, there was no word for airplane until the airplane come around, and the word we call them is mean iron bird. Thanks for that translation tip, buddy. Okay, that leaves me either go alone or take my friend Frank fence posts. Part of the deal that go with the tickets is the Lions Club Junior Young People's Band is come toot their horns and stuff to wish the winners goodbye. Wow, they're gonna do a little. That's fun. They usually play for somebody they all know, like somebody who belonged to the Lions Club, one of the big farmers around Wetaskiwin, and everybody is have a good time. We is the first Indians ever win that trip, and some of the losers is still groaning when we is leave real early in the morning from the Wetaskiwin bus depot to ride to Calgary to catch our plane. There are only 5 or 6 of the band there, and they all look sleepy, and their uniforms ain't done up so good. They play a little bit of Kaliga, Kawliga, Kaliga. Anyway, and something somebody say is Indian love call. Then the mayor of Wetaskiwin, Mr. J. William Oberholzer, who ain't shaved this morning, shake hands on Frank and me and tell us have a good trip. I don't find out for quite a few months, but what usually goes with win the prize is hotel room to stay in and $500 to spend. Oh, but since the ticket is just, say, a trip for 2, that's what we get, a trip for 2. So they just didn't give them all the stuff because they're... Okay, anyway. Me and Frank got maybe $20 each in money, and we sure don't know what to expect in Las Vegas, or even for sure where or what Las Vegas is. I borrow me Ethan First Rider's buckskin jacket with the colored beads all over the back and fringes on the sleeves, and I got on my cherry-colored western shirt with about 50 pearl buttons down the front. At the airport in Calgary, the airplane guy wants to check our luggage. He is dressed in red blazer, looked like he got a smile painted on his face, and got his hair oiled pretty nice. We ain't got any suitcases, I tell him. Indeed, he says, and lifts one eyebrow about half an inch. Aren't you planning on changing your clothes? Why? Asks Frank. We only gonna be gone 2 weeks. Oh, hello. Thank you for the follow, Fabian. Thank you for the follow. Welcome, welcome. I appreciate welcome in. Okay. The airplane ride is pretty good. We is hardly scared at all once we get up in the air. The airplane we is on is chartered by the Camrose Lutheran College Choir, who is going to sing at some big convention or something. Lutherans don't drink or smoke or do much of nothing, so all they serve to drink on the plane is milk and stuff. The Lutherans, they is all figure we on the wrong plane until we tell them we is the winners of the Wetaskiwin Lions Club Ladies Auxiliary Trip for 2 to fabulous Las Vegas. After that, they pretend we not there and practice sing their hymns. Hey partner, Frank says to me, one good thing about have all these Lutherans sing songs around us is that this here plane don't dare crash. I figure if it start to go down, they just pray it right back up again. We do have 1 bottle of Sam standing at the door's dandelion wine, and it ain't so bad mixed with milk. Ooh. But I guess it makes sense because it's like honey wine, but it's like, it sounds weird to have wine with milk. But okay. Boy, that Las Vegas is the hottest place I ever been in my life. It feel like we walk right into an oven when we get off the plane. This here must be the Sahara Desert, says Frank, taking off his red checkered Mackinaw right quick. The choir got a couple of buses wait for them at the airport, but nobody offers us a ride, so we take a taxi. Where to, says the driver. Las Vegas, I tell him. It's a big place, Mac, I guess the guy says. Take us where the action is, say Frank. I seen a big sign at the airport say, "Come to Caesar's Palace," so I tell the driver to take us there. "You sure you guys got money?" the driver wants to know. We have a good laugh about that because cab drivers in Edmonton and Calgary ask us the same thing. The cab costs us $8. We go into Caesar's Palace. Boy, that Caesar must be some rich dude. It's about as big as the whole town of Hobama, air-conditioned, covered in carpet, and smell like the inside of a new car. "We'd like to get a room, please," I tell the pretty man behind the desk, who got long blonde hair that looked like it'd been mixed with glue. "That will be $47, he say, and curl up his lip like a dog growl at a stranger. "That for 1 week or 2? Frank asks, as we both count our money on the counter. "That is for 1 night. Checkout time 11 a.m. "We only got $29 between us both. "I stay for a whole week at the Sask Alta rooms in Edmonton for $21, I tell the clerk. "I'm sure you did," he say, and his nose flare out like a horse when he speak on us. After we have steaks and a few beers, there ain't much left of the $29. Maybe we can get a job or something, I think. Me and Frank been to the tech school at Wetaskiwin over a year now, learn about how to fix tractors. We get real tired, so we crawl in the back seat of somebody's car, sleep for a while, and it getting daylight before they come along, yell at us to get out, or they call the police. We see a sign say 69-cent breakfast, and we have a couple of them each. Then we walk through the casino, look at the games and slot machines. The part I like best, though, is the washroom. They is all mirrors and white marble, and they got free hair stuff and perfume. Me and Frank is sure smell good when we get through in there. About the second time I put a nickel in the slot machine, I win $2.50. This looked like a pretty good thing. Frank take a bunch of nickels and get 2 machines go at once, and sure enough, he win $20 after a while. "I like to play me some of these other games," say Frank, but when he tries to put a handful of nickels on the big green table, the guy with the stick tell him he got to buy chips from someplace. When he goes to do that, I just stand around, watch the old white ladies, in bright dresses poke in their nickels in the slot machines. When I see one put in money for a long time and not win nothing, I put in maybe 10 nickels after she changes machines. I don't make a lot of money, but I sure don't lose any, and my pockets is got heavy with all that silver. Good for you, my guy. Then I see Frank over by the big green table. He is stand at one side by himself, and everybody is go ooh and ah. "Hey, Silas, I put down 5 chips on one of them squares, and my money is get bigger and bigger. I look over the edge, and there is 3 tall piles of chips. Everybody goes ooh again real loud, and the man put down lots more chips. There is a black man stand beside us. He look Frank up and down and say, 'You ought to pick up your chips, son. Your luck can't hold out forever.' 'You mean I can pick them up?' says Frank. 'I thought I had to wait until they ready to pay me.' 'You pick it up for me, mister. I afraid I touched something I shouldn't.' We thanked that black fellow a lot, and we each got our pockets and hands full of chips. We take them off to cash them, and boy, we got almost $1,000. Neither me or Frank ever seen so much money before. We go back to Caesar's Palace, and I tell that dude on the desk, we have us a room for 3 nights, and if it ain't fancy enough for us, we go someplace else. I'm sure you will find everything satisfactory, Mr. Ermineskin, he say, and I can see all the way up his nose when he say it. Perhaps you would care for one of our suites. They are priced from $150 per day. Why not, says Frank, we rich Indians now. This is how they're not going to have much money when they go. This is how we're going to get the downs, isn't it? There is room for 4 or 5 families in the suite they give us. We sure wish we have some friends there we could invite in. We have a big dinner and lots of drinks, and we take taxis all over Las Vegas. I buy me a pair of hand-tooled purple cowboy boots, and I buy Sadie a pair just like mine, only for lady cowboys. The last taxi driver hear us talk about how rich we are and ask if maybe we like to have some girls for company, and we say sure. The girls come up to our room after a while. They is big, tall, white girls. They is some pretty, but the one that's mine I sure have trouble talking to. We don't understand each other much. She talks like that Gomer Pyle fellow I seen on TV, but she tell me that I talk funny. Who's Gomer Pyle? Who's Gomer Pyle? What kind of accent is he referring to? I just know it's going to be an accent or something. Gomer Pyle. Fictional act. Jim Neighbors. From Andy Griffith. I'm not seeing. Okay. Gomer. Gomer Pyle accent? Alabama. Okay, so he's Southern. She's Southern. Oh no, that's the problem. Oh no. Okay. Them girls want $100 each, and then they make us have a bath and wash all over real good before they let us mess around with them. And Frank's girl, who called Candy, keep calling up on the phone to some place called room service and orders us up drinks and steaks and wine and stuff. She ain't very friendly to Frank at all until we start to mess around. Then I hear her say to Frank, "Now I know why you're called fence post." And she giggled real pretty. Now I know why you're called fence post. Jesus. After that, she make a lot of noises like she having a good time. I bet, Silas. We all go to sleep after a while, and when we wake up in the morning, the girls is gone, and so is what money Frank and me had left. Yep, there you go. What make me really mad, though, is they steal them new cowboy boots that I bought for Sadie. Ah, not fair, dude. I don't tell Frank right then that I put a $50 in the toe of my new boots, and it is still there, so we gonna be okay for a while. We call up that room service place and order some more steak and wine for breakfast. It sure is nice of the hotel to send up all this stuff whenever we ask. Oh, this is gonna be a bad thing. Oh, this is gonna be bad. Oh no. We just lay around all day, then I tell Frank my surprise, and we call up a taxi to take us downtown so we can make some more party. I tell the taxi driver wait for me while I go in a bar get some change. I give the guy my $50 bill, and he give me back 4 quarters. Where the rest of it? I asked him. What rest? You gave me $1. I give you 4 quarters. Oh. This guy at the bar is gonna try it. Oh my gosh, fuck this guy. I gave you $50, I yell. It is a dark little bar, and there is 5 or 6 guys sit along on stools but don't say anything. Get out of here, say the bartender, and don't be trying to pull that old rip-off on me. But then a couple of big guys get up off the bar stools. They is a lot bigger than me. They is bigger than both Frank and me. Get out of here, kid, they say, or we chop you up for dog meat. I sure feel like crying maybe, but I go like they say. Outside, I open the door of the taxi and yell, "Run, Frank!" We both do, but boy, that taxi guy is quick. He drive up on the sidewalk and almost hit us, except the door I left open smash on a parking meter, and he have to stop. Thank goodness. Ugh. We finally walk back to the hotel. In the morning, that guy on the desk catch us as we walk by, say he meant to see some money for all the room service we used. We can't talk him into waiting none, so we have to run again, 'cause the room service bill is even bigger than the one more day we got paid up. All we got left is some silver money, so we go down to a casino and hang around the slot machines, see if anybody forget to pick up some change. First we try to win some money again, but we lost everything we had. Then a man came up to us, take us each by the arm, and say it time for us to leave. The guy looked like one of them professional wrestlers I seen in Calgary once. No neck and chest like a barrel. He got a tag on his suit pocket, say security. He has pulled Frank and me toward the door when a man look like that TV doctor Marcus Welby step up and say in a deep voice like a radio announcer, "May I have a word with you, Fowler?" He take the guard off to one side, but I can hear him. "I want you to check those boys very thoroughly before you remove them. Last week you threw out that young fellow who was wearing only a pair of purple velvet tennis shorts. Well, it seems that he was a famous rock musician, and he went across to the Flamingo and dropped $40,000 playing baccarat. Just be sure these boys aren't in the same category. Oh no. Oh no. This is great. You guys belong to a band, the security guys say to us. Ermineskin, we answer together, because it's a band. The reserve is called a band, and so they're in a band. Oh, and this security guy thinks it's like players. Oh my gosh. Oh, I love when they get these, the misunderstandings bits. Oh, love it. Okay. Where are you playing? Caesar's Palace, I say. The Desert Inn, says Frank. Caesar's Palace first, then the Desert Inn, I explained. We gonna be here 2 weeks, 'cause they started at Caesar's Palace and then they moved to Desert Inn 'cause they don't have the money. Aha, say the man with the deep voice. Gentlemen, I want you to feel welcome here. My name is John Wendell, and if you ever need anything at all, feel free to ask my assistance. He put one hand over his head and snapped his fingers, and a girl in a short skirt appeared with a tray of drinks. I take one, Frank takes two. We sort of left our money at the hotel, I say. Maybe you could borrow us a 20 or so? What hotel are you staying at? Caesar's Palace. He nodded to the Fowler, who disappeared real fast. And how long have you gentlemen been musicians? Not very long, say Frank, and that's sure the truth. Sometimes after I have quite a few beers, I sing, Take These Chains from My Heart. Sadie get mad and punch me on the shoulder 'cause she think I sing it to her personal. I can't play no music, and Frank, he blow on the mouth organ sometimes, scare away the dogs from in front of the cabin. Fowler come back in a minute. They got a suite at Caesar's, he say to Mr. Wendell. Sure could have fooled me. He could have fooled me too, but I guess Mr. Caesar still think we stayin' at his place. Gentlemen, Mr. Wendell say with his arm around his shoulders, would say $10,000 credit be sufficient? When I don't answer right away, he raise it to $20,000 and add each to it. $40,000 credit for these guys. Oh no. I'd sooner he gave us maybe $100 cash. Yeah, fair. Frank and me don't win money no more when we play the tables and things. In fact, I think we lost quite a bit. What we do is get all the food and drinks we want, and we get a front row seat to see Merle Haggard in the big dining room. We sure stomp and clap our hands for him. It not just that Merle Haggard is a good singer. Everybody know that he been in jail, and it make him seem more like a real person. Yeah. All our credit ain't no good when it comes night, 'cause they figure we live and work at Caesar's Palace. We get chased out of a couple of parked cars, so we sleep out on the Desert Inn golf course with our jackets wrapped around us. Early in the morning, we creep up to a swimming pool behind one of the big motels. We peek through the hedge and see 2 guys about 50 is swim around some. We just wash a little in the low end of the pool, say Frank. You think those guys will mind? We don't want no trouble. They must be 100 feet away. There's lots of room. So we take off all our clothes but our shorts and start stepping the low water. I never seen guys move so fast as them two. They pull themselves out of the pool so quick they take about half the water with them. What are you guys doing here? They yell at us. We is just going to wash ourselves a little. We don't mean to scare you, I say. This here hotel's reserved for the Brotherhood of Clans convention, the one with the reddest face says. Well, you just go on swimming, says Frank. We try not to bother you none. They both got red faces, big bellies, and beady eyes. They look like a lot of the farmers around Wetaskiwin. You guys, some of them, this is a slur for Mexican people. You guys, Mexican is what they're asking? We Cree Indians from Canada. I tell them. You're Injuns, eh? By God, I never seen an Injun close up before. We don't have none out our way. Got other slur here for black people, though. Thousands of same black slur. They's a lot blacker than you. Well, yeah, they're different peoples. Frank and me start to put our clothes on. Yeah. We sorry we disturb you, I say. Y'all talk like you got a mouthful of grits, boy. Hey, Buford, says one to the other. You hear what they called the slur for black person who married an Injun, a social climber. They both have a good laugh about that. Frank and me, we go down and sneak in the washroom at Phillips 66 station and wash our face and hands. Yeah, fair to get away from those guys. We just hang around town all day and sleep on the golf course again that night. We is sure broke, and now we is getting hungry too. Yesterday I pawned Ethan First Rider's buckskin jacket for $5. Oh, that's worth so much more. But we spend that already for food and cigarettes. I sure wish we could go home now, I say. Silas, we got the tickets, say Frank, jumping up and down. I got the airplane tickets folded up real careful in the back pocket of my jeans. We can't sell them, I say, or maybe we never get home again. You got a driver's license, Silas. We borrow some money on the tickets, rent us a car, then we be a taxi for a while and make lots of money. We pay for the car and have enough left for some food and a good time. It sound like not a bad idea to me. There is sure a lot of taxis around and mostly they got people in them. Trouble is, the places that rent cars run us off every time. They all got pretty girls dressed up fancy who smile and is friendly until they find out we got no real money. Then they wrinkle up their noses and tell us to go away. We about to give up that idea when we see a place, Easy Ralph's used car rentals and dating service. Ugh. Marriages performed 24 hours a day. The windows is so dirty we can hardly see in. There's a fat guy with a brush cut sit behind a little desk and smoke a cigar. You Mr. Easy Ralph, I ask. Maybe, maybe not, he say. We like to rent one of your premium unit used cars, Frank says. Then I'm Easy Ralph, say the man, and he stand up and shakes hand on me and Frank. He don't much like the idea of us only have our plane tickets for money, but we promise him we left our money at our hotel and we pay him for sure when we bring the car back. I guess you guys can't go too far without your tickets, eh? Says Easy Ralph. He slap our back and rent us a 1965 Rambler station wagon with only one fender bashed in. We have pretty good luck be a taxi for a while. We just drive up and down the strip, look for people, look like they need a ride. I stop and Frank jump out and open the back door like we seen real taxi drivers do and say, "Taxi!" Everybody want to know how come we ain't got a meter. We tell them it okay. We trust them to pay us what is fair. And most of them do, I think. Lucky most of them just want to go from one hotel to another. Frank, he look out the window for hotel signs, and I watch the road. We only go the wrong way maybe twice. We made about $30 when a real taxi driver chased us out from in front of the Sands Hotel, and pretty soon a police car has pulled us over. We tell him it ain't us that's a taxi, must be somebody look like us. The policeman smile and say he reckon there ain't anybody else in Vegas look like us. He tell me that both me and the car need about 10 licenses to be a taxi, and we better not take no more passengers or he run us in. We park the car and go in quite a few bars. We end up at one with a big sign saying now appearing stark naked the car thieves. Stark naked is period. The car thieves play music while she take off her clothes. Oh, okay. We just have a few drinks, about $30 worth. Oh no, well now you have no more money. Remember downtown, Silas, we seen that wooden Indian in front of that store? I figure tomorrow I try and rent you to that store man. He probably pay plenty have a real Indian stood out front all day. We have a real good laugh about that, but I guess we laugh too loud 'cause a big guy in a black suit asked us we leave. Hey, partner, how'd you like to rent my friend, says Frank. He's a real Indian. The guy in the suit shoved us so hard out the door we'd have gone right in the street if we hadn't hit up against a parked car. Frank does a bit of a war dance on the curb and tell that guy he put a curse on him. You gonna bleed to death the next time you take a piss, he tell him, but the guy don't look worried. Frank say he gonna drive, but I say okay, but be careful. Frank, he drove Ethan's car around the reserve some, but he never been on a real road before. I dozed off for a while and wake up with a big bang and it raining on my window. Oh no. I don't know how Frank done it, and I guess he don't either, but he knows the car right up against one of them statues outside of Caesar's palace. Oh no. There was lots of people stand around, look at us. Frank, he peel himself off the steering wheel. I don't think Mr. Easy Ralph gonna like this. I don't guess anybody like it very much. My head sure hurts where it hit the windshield. The water is run in the door now, and there is a wet white lady with one arm busted clean off, staring at me from the middle of the pool. That is not a real person, it's a stone person. In the rear view, I see the red light of a police car come race along the road. I think we should get to someplace else real fast, partner, I tell Frank. Everybody is yell, "There they go!" and "Stop them Indians!" as me and Frank run across the road and behind some buildings. I think they shot at us, but I don't stop to ask anybody for sure. We sleep on the golf course that night, and next morning we start for out of town. At Caesar's, there is nothing but that busted white lady to show that we were ever been there. We walk toward the end of town. It is some hot on my bare feet, and I sure wish I hadn't lost my boots someplace last night. Oh no. We hitchhike on the edge of the road for a long time, but the cars all go by like they don't even see us. I wonder how far it is to Hobama, say Frank, wiping the sweat off his forehead with his sleeve. I wonder which way it is for sure, I answer him. The end. Ta-da! Ups and downs. They had an adventure, didn't they? All right. Well, what do y'all think? What did y'all think of that? I'm gonna get started on our singing frog redeem. Thank you, Fabian. We'll go ahead and swap everything over. Oh boy. They had some fun. They had some chaos. Oh, Silas. Oh, Frank fence post. Okay. Here we go with our singing frog. And, yeah. More redeemed soon, hopefully, unless everybody's asleep. Here we go. And there's our frog. Oh man. His triangle little toes. Okay. Alright. If we don't have any other redeems, I would keep going with the next story. The next one is called Penance, which is interesting. But I'm going to run an ad real quick so that we don't have ad interrupting later. Oh, okay. I'm so sorry you have headache. Sorry, Fet. Go take care of yourself. Maybe give me a raid suggestion in the Discord if you can. and I'll check them later. Yes, thank you, Fed. Go look after you. Feel better soon. Gotta give all the loves to the mods. All the loves. Do. Here's that. Yeah, I'm gonna run the ad, and then if there's no more redeems, we'll move on to the next story. Okie dokes. Here we go. I booped it. The ad do run. It run away. And yes, we'll see you when you're feeling better. Alright. Brain, where were we going? I don't know, Raven. I got lost. You do that a lot, Brain. Only the people that are awake and not weighed down by ads will have heard that bad interaction there. Okay. Talking to self, Raven. Raven that talks to herself. Oh no. Oh, what is this? Generium! That's awful, Riz, how dare! That's awful. Oh no. That's so bad. I wish you luck with better Riz soon. Oh goodness. Okay. Well, the ad is up, and I don't see any redeems, so we're gonna run straight to the next story. Penance. Wait, how are they spelling it? How is the spell? There it is. That is how they spells. Alright, Penance. Last summer, during the pilgrimage to Lac Saint, it's S-T-E. Anne? What is S-T-E? We're distracting self. We're gonna look it up. Yeah, it means saint. To Lac Saint Anne. During that pilgrimage, Annie Bottle is walk 5 miles up the old railroad grade in her bare feet to give thanks for something. It's hard to figure what it might be. Annie got 8 kids that always hungry, and the meanest drunk husband on the reserve. Ugh. Thank you for that, Fet. And yes, feel better. Go take care of yourself. Good night. Good night. Fred Bottle is one bad dude. He drink up the welfare check as soon as it come, and he beat up Annie and the kids whenever the spirit move him. I'm 19, and Annie, for all them kids, ain't that much older than me. She was one of the Stonechild girls and married Fred Bottle when she is about 15. Figure a kid a year for 8 years or so, and that make her maybe 25, but she look 40 or worse. Ma, she sends us over with food for them sometimes, and Mad Etta do all their doctoring. Sometimes when Fred Bottle is in jail, everything be pretty good for a while, but he always come back. Annie is pretty small and skinny, and she wears long skirts and a flowered kerchief like the old ladies do. She's always walk like she climbing a hill, and is all the time look at the ground. I've been to Lac St. Anne a couple of times before, when I was little, but this is the first time since I growed up. Boy, it is some busy place. They say there is over 10,000 Indians come here this week. Me and Frank Fencepost is come down with Rufus First Rider. How did you get back from Vegas? How long did your hitchhiking journey take? Anyway, okay. Rufus, he want to look things over. He got this white girl that he really loved, but she been pretty sick for a long time now. And he figure maybe if he dip her in the lake, St. Anne make a miracle, and she won't be sick no more. St. Anne, they say, is the Virgin Mary's mother, and they say that a long time ago some people seen her here at this lake. I don't know how they... Virgin Mary from, Bethlehem is in Canada, but okay, sure. um, I sure don't know what she would be doing way out here in Alberta at a lake that got so many black flies and mosquitoes when she could be someplace nice. I figure that saints, they go just about any place they want to. Yeah. Ever since she was seen here, every summer, Indian peoples has come from all over the province to dip themselves in Lac St. Anne and make themselves better of whatever makes them sick. I never seen so many Indians in one place before, not even at the Calgary Stampede. Tree to tree Indians is what Frank say we got here. There is crowds all along the beach, so you can hardly walk. All the campgrounds is full, and people is make tents all over the place. Down to the bar in the Lac St. Anne Hotel, they have taken out all the tables and chairs, and everybody is sit on the floor so they can get more people in the bar. Also, they know that what happened in other years is that the tables and chairs get all busted up if they is left there. There's guys in little trailers sell hot dogs and pop, and other ones that sell candy fluff, and one big one that sell religious medals and pillows of dark blue silk with a big face of Jesus in red beads. They even got a couple of searchlights that light up the sky at night, and I hear that on Sunday the Air Force gonna do some trick flying over the lake. Somebody say that there is gonna be a church services someplace, but we never find any. What we do find is a booth that is rent out trail bikes, and boy, we sure do agree with that we would like to have some. I'm the only one who got a driver's license, so I go and rent one. Give it to Frank, go back, rent another, give it to Rufus, and finally rent one for me. Haven't I seen you before? The guy say to me one last time. Not me, I say. All us Indians look alike. Nice. We make those trail bikes roar real loud and backfire some, and we sure is happy. We scatter people out of the way and find us this old railroad grade to ride on. We ride out for a couple of miles or so. Frank, he liked to slide down the banks, run through the water, and shoot mud out behind the bike. Why is my voice? Oh my goodness. We come to a spot where there used to be a bridge in the grade, but it has fall down a long time ago. There is a little water under it, and you can smell the tar stuff that the timber's been dipped in. Frank pretend he is Evel Knievel fellow, and he gonna jump right over that hole in the road. If it hadn't been that Frank's bike only go about halfway across where the bridge used to be, and he tip right over backward and fall into the long grass and the water, we wouldn't have found Annie Bottle. Annie, she big with her next baby, and I guess she got tired with walking, and rest for a while on the side of the grade in the tall grass. It is while she rests there that the baby start to come, and she gets sick. We hear her groan some, and she about as surprised to see us as we are to see her. First she tell us to go away. She don't want nobody to help her. Then she have some more pains, and she say maybe it okay if we do something. Annie is hold on with both hands to a poplar branch she pulled off a tree. Her fist is white, and the branch bent up in a half circle. But we is just stand around for a while. We sure don't know what to do with a lady gonna have a baby, maybe right away. The sun is hot, and there is lots of little flies buzz around. Annie say she thirsty, but we don't have nothing to drink with us, and she don't think she should drink that green water from the slough. We'll lay her down in the shade and take off her shoes. Tell her try not to have the baby for a while. We decide Rufus, he should stay with Annie 'cause he got lots training looking after sick people. Me and Frank, we go call a farm we see back across a meadow a ways, see if we can use the phone to call somebody. The farmer, he look us up and down and say he ain't got no phone, even though the telephone poles run right into his yard. We ask if maybe there's a hospital around somewhere, but he say Stony Plain is the closest, and that is maybe 40 miles. We go back across to where Rufus and Annie is. We try to get her to walk some, but she is hardly able. We try to sit her on the back of my bike, but that don't work either. With Frank and Rufus hold one arm each, we get her down the road, maybe a mile towards to Lac St. Anne, when we see some buildings back off the grade a ways. Look like nobody lives in them. There ain't no house, but there is quite a few buildings. There's haystacks in the yard. We pick out a nice shed and with the hay make Annie a good place to lie down. We talk it over for a while and decide that I should go fast to Lac St. Anne, find Mad Etta. First place I try is the hotel, and there is Mad Etta sit in the middle of the beer parlor floor, smoke a big fat roll your own, and drink beer. When Etta go out, there is room for 3 people come in. It take me and a couple of guys just to get her up on her feet. Etta, I bet, cure as many people as St. Anne if they was to have a contest. Etta not used to sit on the floor, she say, and laugh and laugh. I sure not laugh much. I got to figure out how to get Etta back to that farm. It is pretty hard to get a 300-pound lady on the seat of a trail bike. Etta take up the whole seat, and her big belly keep push me right up against the handlebars. The bike keeps stalling, too, 'cause it ain't used to carry so much weight. I sure wish we had Louis Coyote's pickup truck so we could load Mad Etta in the back the way we do at home when we want to take her someplace. We go along the grade about 50 feet at a time, but I just keep starting the bike again and again, 'cause I know that once I get Etta there, everything gonna be okay, 'cause Etta be better any day than those white man doctors. Frank and Rufus is sure glad to see us. Annie is cry some and say that the baby is come soon. Etta tell us a list of things she needs for Annie and the baby, and away the 3 of us go on our bikes. The Lac St. Anne store is sold out of most everything but warm pop, Frito chips, and cigarettes, and none of that stuff is Mad Etta's list. We stop at the hotel, pick up a box of beer for Annie and Etta to drink, then we got to ride back past where we come from to get to the next town. From the farm we have to drive across a field to the main road and about 10 miles to a store. We get most of the stuff Mad Etta wants, like a saucepan so she can cook up her medicine. I bet Etta is dig up roots, pick leaves and stuff right now. We get some bandage, some iodine, and some diapers come in a big box. A couple of blankets, some spray keep mosquitoes away, a loaf of bread, some margarine, a couple of pounds of bologna, and a carton of cigarettes. They even cashed my unemployment check without too much hassle. Maybe we should buy something for the baby, say Frank. We go back in, get a bottle of pop each, and some ice cream on a stick. Then I buy a rattle that is pink on one side and blue on the other. Frank get a doll with red hair and big round eyes, and Rufus get a giant economy-size can of Johnson's baby powder. Then we start back for the farm. It is already dark, and we not so sure which way we come from, but we just look up at the sky and see the searchlights at Lac St. Anne, and we follow them right to where we goin'. Mad Etta got a little fire going in the ground. She torn most of one side out of her 5-flower sack dress, and that is what the baby is wrapped up in. Annie Bottle is lay in the hay in the shed with the baby at her chest. It's a girl, Mad Etta tells us. Annie, she be okay. She's tough. But I'm not so sure about the baby. The baby, her face is all screwed up in a scowl, and the fire reflect in her little black eyes. She looked like a turnip been all winter in the root cellar. She has give Annie the presents we bought her for the baby. She even smile a little before her and the baby go to sleep. The 4 of us sit around the little fire for a while. Why do you guys figure she was walk alone way out here? Mad Etta say to us. But me or nobody else got any answers. Us guys go to sleep in a haystack. Mad Etta keep the fire go all night, cook up some stuff from roots and leaves that she feed by little drops to the baby. Couple of times the next day we is go to town, buy more stuff for Mad Etta and the baby. Annie Bottle is up and walk around some, but the baby cry most of the time in a tiny, dry voice. I can't figure why that baby don't get stronger, Mad Etta say that night. Etta look after babies in worse place than this, and they don't die. And she tip up her bottle of Lethbridge Pale Ale, and in the firelight the bottle and her face is the same color. Sometime about sunup, the baby, she is die. We don't have a shovel or nothing. We just scoop out a little grave in the soft ground. She is sure one tiny thing, say Frank. as he carried her out of the shed wrapped up in a green and plaid blanket. She light as a bird. We bury the baby, her toys and everything. Then we cover up the spot good with rocks in case animals come around. Only one good thing, say Rufus, is it be one less kid for Fred Bottle to beat around. We agree among ourselves that we ain't going to tell nobody about what has happened. If we did, we'd have to talk to the RCMP guys, and they'd want to know why we didn't go to the hospital and stuff. No use explain to them that Mad Etta be a good medicine doctor. It is Sunday morning. We hear church bells ring off in the distance, and I guess they have some church service here after all. When we get back to town, most of the Indians is gone home already. It take us a long time to get back, and we bust 2 of the bikes carrying Mad Etta back to town. The town pretty quiet. Some guys is carry the tables and chairs back into the bar, get it ready to open up again tomorrow. The motorcycle guy is sure mad at us. He say he got the RCMP look for us 'cause we only supposed to have them bikes for 3 hours and we been gone for 3 days. I don't know why he gets so excited. We always know we was going to bring them back. It was late that afternoon that Annie Bottles walked 5 miles up the old railroad grade in her bare feet to give thanks for something. It's sure hard to figure what it might be. The end. Oh, that one's sad. That one's tough, but not as harsh as they have been. Okay. And the next one is called The Inaugural Meeting. Let's see. Ooh. And it's only 6 pages, so this one's real quick, I guess, comparatively. But with no redeems and nobody saying anything, I'm assuming everybody's asleep and gone. Tell me if you want something else, 'cause the next one is The Inaugural Meeting. Okay, well, I'm gonna write that one up then. We're gonna read that. The Inaugural Meeting. There we go. And right back into reading. Non-stop reading. Oh, thank you, Stretch. Thank you, Cage, for the stretch. I will do that. That's a good idea. That's a very good idea. Okay. Let's rearrange self for better posture. Stretch Nightwind reporting. I kind of like that. My name's Stretch Nightwind. Okay. I hydrated, I stretched, I'm in a better posture. Let's go. The Inaugural Meeting. Look at yourselves, brothers, yelled Hobart Thunder. Stop looking up here at me for a moment and turn and look at yourselves. Have you ever seen a more disgusting group? You look half starved, half dressed, half alive. And on he go. Boy, he sure call us up one side and down another. We is, all us guys, down at the Blue Quills Hall at Hobama Crossing. Listen to this guy from the American Indian Movement give us a talk on Red Power. All week there have been posters up at the general store in the pool hall at Hobama showing this big red clenched fist hold on to a torch. The posters say Hobart Thunder, a founding member of the American Indian Movement, going to stop right here at Hobama on his cross-country tour, speak to anybody who listen. Silver collection, come at 8 o'clock. There's only about 8 or so of us guys show up. Me, Frank and Charlie Fence Post, Ethan and Rufus First Rider, Robert Coyote, and maybe a couple of other guys sit on them yellow wood chairs out on the basketball court in front of the stage while Hobart Thunder stand up there and talk like maybe he got 1,000 or 2 people listen to him. You can't get no lower than you are now, brothers. You are degraded, deprived, despised, trampled under the feet of government bureaucracy. You are nothing. Silas, you sure this here guy ain't white? Frank say to me. I should never expect to hear an Indian talk to other Indians that way. Hobart Thunder sure ain't white. In fact, he looked much different than us. He got long hair. In fact, he don't look much different than us. He got long hair with a headband and a feather stick up behind him, a denim jacket, brown pants that too big for him, and running shoes. He is old, though, maybe 25. Again, this is our little 18, 19-year-old guy, thinking that that's old. What I wish, though, is that he would talk to us in his own voice. He keep read off little cards that he take out of the pocket of his jean jacket, like maybe without them he is going to forget some of the bad names he has called us. There's only one way for you to go, and that is up. It is the job of myself and my brothers in the American Indian movement to help you up from bondage, up from the oppression, up from slavery. He paused there, and I guess he expect us to clap our hands for him or something. Everybody sits silent. Hobart is look kind of worried for a minute, then he take a new card from his pocket and start up again. There's 2 white guys who sit by themselves at the back of the hall. They got short hair, big muscles, clean jeans and denim jackets, and sports shirts that done up right to the collar. They might as well have on their bright red uniform and ride their horses. Which is to say that they are Mounties. They are RCMP. Red uniform, riding horses, that's a Mountie. Okay. I was at Wounded Knee, Hobart said. I saw my red brothers fight and die there on the Ogallala Reservation during the siege. I was like, brain. Okay. Ogallala Reservation during the siege. I saw the courage, the sacrifice, the bravery. Would you do the same for your reserve? Would you fight and die for, and here he stood up and looked on his card for help, the Ermineskin Reserve and your town of Hobama? Poor Hobart Thunder. He is make the mistake everybody else is. He think that just because Indians live here that Hobama is an Indian name. People ask us all the time what Hobama mean in Indian. Frank, he tell them it mean land of blue lakes, tall trees, running waters with lots of buffalo that last as long as the grass shall grow. Only he tell it different to everyone who ask. Hobama was named by the white guys who built the Canadian Pacific Railway. It is the name of a Dutch guy who paint pictures a real long time ago. We've been mostly peaceful, trusting and loyal for all these many years, and look where that got us, Hobart go on. We is the bottom men on the white man's totem pole. We got to fight, we got to burn, we got to destroy. Are you with me, brothers? And he give us the big red power salute and bow a little, wait for us to clap our hands again. 1 or 2 of the guys do a little bit. Sound like somebody slap a couple of flies. Hobart Thunder come down off the stage and sit with us. He have us put our chairs in a circle and we whisper a lot. He explained that the guys at the back of the hall is feds that been sent to harass and disrupt his meetings. They is with the CIA and is follow him around all the time. Only reason they don't do nothing tonight is that there is so few of us here. Then he pull us in real close and whisper some more. But he's even whispering off the cards in his pocket. If you men believe in freedom for yourselves and your people, I want you should from the Ermineskin Warrior Society I want you should form the Ermineskin Warrior Society right here and now. You may be a small group, but with the guidance of the American Indian movement, you can make your presence felt all across your state, province, and maybe all across the country. He said state and corrected himself, province, and maybe all across the country. Because it's not America. That name, Ermineskin Warrior Society, sure sound okay. Yeah, says you, Mr. Ermineskin. Okay. It kind of sound exciting, and I can see myself lead a war party out to attack something. And I guess the other guys can too, because we don't say nothing for about a minute or so. Okay, say Hobart Thunder, and he pull out a paper, got a bunch of blanks for him to fill in. He sure have trouble get the right words in the right place, but finally he read off, the inaugural meeting of the Hobama chapter of the Ermineskin Warrior Society come to order. Then he get out some more notes and explain how we gonna make bombs with dynamite, blow up trains, even airplanes, and sometimes public buildings like this here hall we is in. How we gonna get money to build these bombs and stuff? Rufus First Rider asked. We could rob the stage, say Frank, but Hobart got bigger ideas than that. We supposed to steal all the dynamite and stuff, he tell us. Then we is to rob banks and credit unions and kidnap senators and other important guys so we can collect lots of money to build more bombs. Maybe it is just the way he tell his story, like he not quite believe it himself, that it don't sound like so good an idea to us. I look over at Ethan First Rider and he screw up his nose. If Ethan don't like it, that mean the rest of us don't either. But we don't want to hurt the feelings of Hobart Thunder, 'cause he seemed like a nice man, and he sure come one long way to talk with us. So we try to look like we agree with what he tell us. We figure he go away and we never hear of him again. Now that the Ermineskin Warrior Society is organized, I want you should do something tonight, he say. It be small, but it be. And he have to look at them cards in his pocket again. A symbolic gesture. See them feds sit back there? Well, their car is out front. I want volunteers to go out there and wreck the car. Frank put up his hand and take mine with it. Oh no. Frank is such a chaos, such a menace. Brother Ermineskin and Brother Fence Post have volunteered. The rest of you get closer to me and we can keep on with our secret meeting so the feds keep watching us. You guys pretend you going home. The hands straight up kind of feels like a giveaway, but okay. Frank and me walk out of the hall. We stretch as we go past the feds. Boy, we is tired. We is going to go right home to bed. Oh, a well-timed yawn. Oh my gosh, sorry. We is going right home to bed, we say, but the feds don't even look at us. There's only 3 cars outside the hall. All of us guys came down in Ethan First Rider's car, one that used to be, at one time, belonged to my brother-in-law, only he sort of left it on the reserve once he came to visit. Yeah, he left it on the reserve. If you forget from yesterday's, they found a way to keep that car. Let's say it that way. There is a beat-up 1969 Chevy with South Dakota plates and the back seat full of red power posters. And there is a new, silver Ford LTD, look like it just drove out of a magazine. Them feds sure must be rich guys. We just stand, look at it for a while. I don't mind if we steal it, 'cause boy, I sure would like to take Sadie One Wound, my girlfriend, for a ride in it, and maybe if I smart like Ethan, I get to keep it. I just don't like the idea of busted up, though. And Frank, even though he act real brave, he don't much either. I sort of kick a little dirt on the door. We got to remember it belonged to them feds, Frank say. I wish they'd tried to harass us so we could be really mad with them, I say. Frank, maybe you pretend that the car belonged to that RCMP guy who broke your nose in the back of the police car that time. I got even with him, Silas. I bled on his uniform good. The uniforms are red. It doesn't make that much of a difference. We have a little laugh about that, but Frank figure what I say is an okay idea. He take out his big jackknife, and after quite a few tries, cut one tire enough for the air to get out. Now your turn, he say to me. Who do you hate, Silas? Oh, yes, I like this one. Here we go. I have to think for a minute. Then I remember this dude that cheated me out of $50 when I was in the United States once. The guy that gave him a quarter for his $50 bill. Asshole. I just stand back and kick the middle of the passenger door with my steel-toed work boot and pretend that it the face of the guy who cheated me. Frank take a rock and tap on a tail light until it break. I do the same with a headlight. Then I find that the doors ain't even locked. There's a bucket lay by the side of the hall. How about we wash this here car for the feds, I say. Frank, he get the idea and run down the hill to the slough and come back with a pail full, half of mud and half of water. He step up and slop it right across the front seat. We got to wash the back too, hey? I'm starting to feel real good as I run down to the slough. Frank gets the rest of the tires flat by the time I come back with mostly mud in my bucket and toss it in the back seat. We throw some rocks at the windows and windshield. They chip a little, but they pretty hard to break. Our steel-toed boots sure dent the sides good, though, and we bust up every light on the car easy. Then Frank put up the hood, and we pull out anything that come loose. Then we close up the hood, and dance real hard on it until it cave in. We figure we fill up the gas tank with water, but it got a lock on it, so we kick off the tailpipe instead. Then we put it in neutral, rock it some to get it started down the hill. It roll right into the slough, go shoo, It's got sloop, and sink about halfway out of sight. It's sure funny that do something like that makes us feel so good. To do something like that makes us feel so good. I think I can imagine what it'd be like to blow up a building. We are sure a couple of proud guys when we go back to that meeting. Brother Hobart, we say, we strike the first blow for red power in Alberta, and he slap our backs and say, maybe there is hope for us guys yet. Brother Hobart sure change his tune when we all get outside. What did you guys do to my car? He yell. Ain't that your car? We say, we point at the 69 Chevy. No. Hey, that belongs to the feds. The American Indian movement is rent me a new car in Calgary to make my tour. We is sure sorry, Brother Hobart, we say. He looked like he just been hit in the stomach with a big red fist off of one of his posters. Hey, Hobart, say one of the feds, you want to ride into town with us? We got a room right next to yours at the Alice Hotel. I guess that'd be okay, say Hobart. Come on, said the other CIA guy. If we hurry up, we can get there before the bar closes. We'll buy you a drink. I guess that'd be okay too, say Hobart. I hope you realize that's the second time that's happened on this tour. You got to remember to tell them which car is ours, say the first CIA guy. That's why we drive the junker. The CIA guy's got the right brain. I think it's the posters that really sell it in the back seat that really sell that it's not theirs. We is sure sorry, Brother Hobart, we say again. Then we is all raise our fists in the red power salute as Hobart Thunder get in the back seat of the 69 Chevy. The end. Ooh. Okay, that's a good one. Oh, why is nobody celebrating with that? That is a good one. Take that. And oh, never mind. It's a good little karma when you ask for something to get destroyed just for the sake of getting destroyed. And you get the one you're the one that gets hurt. Okay. Well, that was the inaugural meeting. The next one is called Lark Song. If there's nobody here redeeming, I'm gonna prep that one now. So here we go. The Lark Song. I'll prep it. You have T-minus 20 seconds. Lark Song. Yes. Okay. Give it just a couple more seconds. Okay, I'm just gonna go for it. Lark Song. If we'd have been smart, we never would have let Joseph go off by himself that Saturday in Wetaskiwin. Oh no, that's his older brother. And he's, oh yeah, I'll explain it. But we did, and there's sure been a lot of trouble for everybody ever since. My brother, Joseph Ermineskin, be older than me. He is 22 already, But when he just a baby, he catch the scarlet fever in his mind. It never grow up like his body do. Joseph ain't crazy. He just got a tiny kid's mind in a big man's body. He's close to 6 feet tall and broad across the shoulder. His face is round and the color of varnished wood. He be gentle and never hurt nobody in his whole life. Unless you look right in his eyes, he don't look no different than the rest of us guys. We let his hair grow long, and we got him a denim outfit, and once, when I worked at a mine for the summer, I bought him a pair of cowboy boots. But Joseph, he smiled too often and too long at a time. I guess it because his mind ain't full of worries like everybody else. Joseph ain't got no more trouble to look after than any other little kid, and he is even good at a couple of things. He can hear a song on the radio and play it back on my old guitar just like he heard it. He forget it pretty quick, though, and can usually only do it one time. Okay. And he can sound like birds. He caws like the crows so good that they come to see where the crow is that's talking to them. He talk like a magpie, too. But best of all, he sound like a meadowlark. Meadowlarks make the prettiest sound of any bird I ever heard. When they sing, it sound like sweet water come bubble up from out of a spring. Sweet. Sometime when we sit around the cabin at night and everyone is sad, Joseph, he make that lark song for us, and soon everyone is feels some better because it's so pretty. It is funny that he can do that so good, 'cause when he talk, he sound like the wind-up record player when it not cranked up good enough. His voice is all slow and funny, and he have to stop a long time between words. One time, Papa, when he still lived here with us, is take Joseph with him to Wetaskiwin. Yeah, we never got an explanation on what happened to Papa. Where did he go? We know Ma's still around, but we don't know where Papa is. Okay. Papa, he get drunk and don't come home for a week or so, but the very next day, Joseph, he is show up. He is hungry and tired from walk all those miles on down the highway, but he find his way home real good. He is smile clear around to the back of his neck when he see us, and he don't ask about go to town with anybody for a long time after that. Sometimes these stories just forget to explain things. Hopefully it comes up eventually. I feel like he's saving it, because it's like, this is a kid just writing his stories. Maybe, the people that read this, they all know already what happened to Papa, but these other stories, they're the fun things. But yeah, I think eventually we'll get to know what happened. Okay. Still, I can tell he feel bad when me and my friend Frank Fencepost and all the guys go into town in Louis Coyote's pickup truck and leave him at home. That was why we take him one Saturday afternoon with us. We put him in the park to play while we go look in the stores and maybe stop for a beer or two. Oh no, I can see where this is going. They left him in a park. And he's a kid really, but he's a grown man and he's dark-skinned in a white place. Okay. We put him in the park while they go get beers. Joseph sure liked the swings, and being strong and tall, he can swing up high. What we should have told him, though, and didn't, was for sure not to play with none of them white kids. Yep. This is going to be a dark one. Brace yourselves, everybody. White people don't like nobody else to touch their kids, especially Indians. Here on the reserve, it's kind of like one family. The kids run free when they is little, and nobody minds if somebody else hugs your little boy or girl. Joseph, he liked little kids, and they like him back. Big people don't always have time, or maybe they don't want to love their kids as much as they should. Phrasing? Oh, what phrasing did I mess up? The touch the kids? Yes. To be fair, this was the 70s, but yeah. No worries. Turtle Boy, you got your subscription time too. Fett did his renewal from 5 months too, so congrats, 5. Yay! Thank you for the subscribe. Drop your money, Frog. I know. Yeah, I get you, Cage. I missed it because I'm reading it so genuine. I'm like, oh no, it's wholesome. No, you're right. And go ahead and be in and out, Turt. Don't worry about it. Lurk away. Lurk right away. Here we go. Okay. Celebrating yourself. Oh, great. Okay. Right. The big people don't always have time, or maybe they don't want to love their kids as much as they should. Joseph is pick up the kids when they fall down, or maybe when they is just lonesome. He don't say nothing to them, just pet their heads like maybe they was little kittens, hold them close and make them feel warm. Sometimes he make his bird sounds for them, and they forget why they feel bad, hug his neck, and feel good that someone likes them. Self-love is important. It is. You're right. You're right. People say that was what happened in the park in Wetaskiwin that day. That he made the... So here we go. This is the big concern. All right. He'll make the bird sounds. They'll feel good. They like him. It's good. But this is what happened in Wetaskiwin that fateful day. A little white girl is fall off the slide and hurt herself. When Joseph see her crying, he is just pick her up like he would an Indian kid. Only them kids all been told, don't mess around with strangers. And somebody runs for some mothers. We come back to get Joseph about the same time that the little girl's mother come to get her. If you ever seen a lady partridge fly around on the ground, pretend she got a broken wing so her enemy go after her and leave her young ones alone, that is how this white lady act. Joseph is stand in the sandbox, hold that little girl in his arms, and she is not crying anymore until she hear her mother scream and dance up and down. I sure afraid for what might happen to Joseph if we don't come when we did. I unwrap his arms from the little girl and hand her back to the lady, who is cry some and yell a lot of bad things at us and say somebody already called the RCMP. The RCMP guys come roll up in their car with the lights flash. And I sure wish we was all someplace else. While everyone tried to yell louder than everyone else, Joseph, he sit down and play some in the sand, and every once in a while he is make his meadowlark call. I try to explain to them RCMP guys that Joseph, he is about as harmless as that meadowlark he is sounding like. Meadowlarks ain't very pretty or good for much, but make beautiful sounds. But they sure don't hurt nobody either, I tell them. Lots of people is standing around watching, and I think they figure something real bad has happened. There is a real big white lady with a square face is carry a shotgun. We promise the RCMP guys and anybody else that will listen that for sure we never gonna bring Joseph to town no more. We keep him on the reserve forever, and then some, we tell him. For once, it looked like maybe the RCMP is gonna believe us Indians. They say they can't see no reason to lay any charges, 'cause all it looked like Joseph done was to pick up a kid that fell down. The white girl's mother is yell loud on everybody, say if the RCMP ain't gonna do nothing, she'll go to somebody who will. And that lady with the square face wave her shotgun and say she would sure like to shoot herself a few... This is not a nice thing to say. A few wagon burners. After we all go to the police station, for a while, the RCMP guys let us take Joseph home. Police station for a while, they just take Joseph home. But it is only a couple of days until some government people has come nose around our place a lot. Not shoot a self. It's the way the kind of accent colloquialism is. She'd like to shoot herself some blanks, you know. She's gonna shoot some things, but she's gonna shoot herself up some blanks. That's how it goes. Anyway, okay, so the government people is showing up. And they nose around a lot. They is kind of like the coyotes come pick at the garbage. We hardly ever see them, but we still know they is there. You did. It's okay. It's okay, Ignis. I'm surprised we didn't have the usual insert, your usual first lines. Instead, we have the little kitty. Huh? Huh? But, okay. Two little women in brown suits come up to our cabin, say, wouldn't we think Joseph be happier in a home someplace where there are lots of other, and I'm not going to say this one. I've been giving this book lots of passes on I'll say the words that we shouldn't say because it is in the right context. But this word is to say mentally handicapped and not the R word. I'm not going to say the R word. Okay. Ma, like she always do, pretends she don't understand English and just sit and look at them with a stone face. But she sure is worried. Next time they come back, they ain't nearly so nice. They say either we put Joseph in the place for crazy people at Ponoka, or they get a judge to tell us what we have to. To tell us we have to. The next week, me and my girlfriend Sadie One Wound hitchhiked the 12 miles down to Ponoka to have a look at the crazy place. I know all my life that the place is there, but there's something about a place like that scares us a lot. It make us too shy to go up to the gate and ask to look around. Instead, we just walk around outside for a while. It got big, high wire fences, but inside there is lots of grass and beds of pretty flowers. And the people who walk around inside don't look as though they trying to run away or nothing. The government peoples keep sending Ma big fat letters with red writing on them. One say that Ma and Joseph got to appear at something called a committal hearing at the courtroom in Wetaskiwin. We figure that if we go there, they're going to take Joseph away from us for sure. I go down to the payphone at Hobema Crossing and phone all the way to Calgary to the office of Mr. William Whitney, an Indian lawyer, but he is away on holiday, and no, I say I don't want nobody to call me or nothing. We don't go to that committal hearing 'cause Ma, she say that we just pretend that nothing is happening, and if we do that long enough, the white people stop bothering us. A couple of weeks later, we get another big bunch of papers with red seals all over them, delivered by the RCMP guys personal. Them papers say they gonna come and get Joseph on a certain date. Oh no. We figure it out on the calendar from the Texaco service station, and we decide that when they come, they ain't gonna find no Joseph. We just put him to live with someone back in the bush a few miles and move him around whenever we have to. One good thing about white people is that they usually give up easy. The RCMP is always nose around for Sam standing at the doors. Still, I guess that's where the still is. Or maybe have a warrant for arrest somebody for steal car parts or something. But we tear up the culvert in the road from Hobema to our cabins, and them guys sure hate to walk much, so they just go away after they yell at the closest Indians for a while. We figure the government people like to walk even less than the RCMP, so it'd be pretty easy to fool them. I don't know if they came a day early or if maybe we forget a day someplace. But their cars is already across the culvert and halfway up the hill before we see them, and the guy from the crazy place in Ponoka, who wears a white jacket, look like he be a cook in a cafe, say he is a Métis, and he even taught Cree to us, which is real bad, 'cause then we can't pretend we don't understand what is happening. Usually people we don't like go away real quick when we pretend we don't understand, especially if we sharpen a knife or play with a gun while we talk about them some in our language. This Métis guy tell us, look, they ain't gonna hurt Joseph down there at the mental hospital, and it only be 12 miles away, so we can come visit him any time. He gonna be warm and clean and have lots of food, and he get to make friends with other guys like him, and maybe even learn to make things with his hands and stuff. It don't sound so bad after all, if it's true what he says. All we had time to do was hide Joseph under the big bed in the cabin, and he been making bird songs all the time he is under there. Ma, she finally call him to come out, and he poke out his head and smile on everybody. Woo! Yes, I am still striving to hello. I resent that remark. I do not give up easy, I'll have you know. Forget it, I would give up. What a white guy. what? The phrase that I don't want to use is very useful here. That's very white of you. I realized maybe I didn't. Does everybody know what Métis is? It's a French word for mixed. It means French and indigenous. It's a race of people. It's a tribe. There was a lot of French indigenous that happened, and they all lived on their own lands when people were first moving over, and so there is their own unit. I need a fart. Okay. I'm Evolutions. Go ahead and fart. You do you. I ain't gonna stop you, mostly 'cause I can't smell it from here. But okay. What an entry. We're reading some like tough stuff and you're like, I'm a fart. Okay, you go ahead. Can I get back to the mentally handicapped guy on the reservation getting taken away to the loony bin? 'Cause it's kind of a tough story. Oh, thank you for the follow, I'm Evolutions. Welcome. Thank you for that. Okay, I'm gonna keep going. Alright. So they said it doesn't sound so bad now. We pack up his clothes in a cardboard box. He sure ain't got much to take with him. Frank Fence Post asked them guys if they got electric light down at the crazy place, and they tell him the hospital is fully equipped. Just had to express your feelings. Well, all right. Good for you. Frank, he goes and gets his fancy-shaped electric guitar that he bought at a pawn shop in Calgary. I remember him. Remember the story where he kept looking at it? It's when they were going to lose the baby, I think, but I'm not sure. Okay. He tells the guys from the hospital they should show Joseph how to plug the guitar into the wall. Then he shoved the guitar into Joseph's arms. 'Cause he plays guitar well, and now he's going to take it with him. Aw. The guys is all come out from the cabins and stand around, look shy at the ground while I talk to Joseph like I would my littlest sister. Explain he should be good, and how these guys is friends and all. Joseph, he pet the guitar like it alive and smile for everybody, and touch his fingers on the shiny paint of the car from Pinoca. Once they is gone, we sure ain't got much to say to each other. Me and Frank talk a little about how we go visit Joseph on Saturday, sneak him away and hide him out on the reserve. But it different when they got him than when we got him, and I don't think that idea ever gonna come to much. I don't sleep so good that night. I am up early. The sky is clear and the sun has just come up. There is frost on the brown grasses, and the slough at the foot of the hill is frozen thin, as if window glass had been laid across it. Brown bulrushes tipped with frost stand, some straight, some at angles, like spears stuck in the ground. Outside the cabin door are dogs lie curled like horse collars in their dirt nests. They half open their yellow eyes, look at me, then go to sleep again. The air is thin and clear, and pine smoke from another cabin is rise straight up like ink lines on a paper. From the woodpile I carry up an armful of split pine. The wood is cold on my arm, and I tuck the last piece under my chin. Then there is an explosion from down the hill and across the slough someplace, like a gunshot, only beautiful. The crows rise up like they've been tossed out of the spruce trees. At first I want to laugh, it sounds so funny. The voice of a summer bird on a frosty morning. Then it come again, that sweet, bubbly, blue sky-colored lark song. I do laugh then, but for happy. And I toss the wood on the ground and run for the meadow. I don't know what the explosion is, maybe just all the birds suddenly jumping, but there you go. Okay, I admit I am being bad and just go to bed. Sorry, Raven. Everyone have a good night. It's all good. I think because we are nearly at 2 a.m. and I know the next story is going to take a while, that we're going to wrap up. We're going to go to beds too. Well, I'm going to raid to somewhere and then people will go to beds. But yeah. All right. That one was a sweet one. Lark Song. That was sweet. Okay. Tomorrow I will be back on SCPs, and then in the second stream we'll pick up in this book right where we were with the next story is called Feathers. So that's what we'll do. Oh my gosh. Barely 5 hours sleep and up till 2 a.m. Yeah, go bed. Get lost. Get out of here. Very interesting book. And you were only here for a little bit of it. I'm Evolutions. It's a collection of short stories from a fictional reserve, but written by indeed indigenous person. Sorry. W.P. Kinsella. I really like it. But okay, there was Lark Song. That's the end. I'm going to pull up our recommendations from FET. Let's see if our first person is available. And in the meantime, Cage, would you mind terribly pulling up our raid messages so that I can copy and paste when we get to that. Here we go. Let's see if this person is still going. Yes, they are. Okay, so we're going to raid into Kit Darling. Perfect. Thank you. Thank you very much, Cage, for dropping those. So you guys copy your messages. We're going to prep and we're going to go over to see Kit. Here we go. Oh yeah, and I should say, because I forget something. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you everyone for joining. Thank you for the resubscriptions. Everybody that did that. Thank you for the new follows. Everybody, thanks so much. Thank you. Okay. Yes, we're gonna start raiding in. I'm gonna prep this, and we're totally going to Cozy Frog raid over. Alrighties. Get you copied. Okay. I send and I raid. We raid. Let's go. Let's go. Ah, we go. Okay. Are we going? Are we there? Are we?